produced by Do You Validate? Episode 1. Spring.
I'm Eve, and I will be playing Cindy the Mundane. Cindy is a retired monster hunter living the life of an accountant for the local monster hunting scene. Cindy is married to her wife Susan and the stepmom to 2 amazing kids. Cindy set up shop out of the back of Emond's, a local hunter bar. From there, she helps outfit hunters for jobs, gathers intel, and makes sure that they have a decent meal every now and again. Cindy is always armed with a purse filled with snacks, bandages, and a gun big enough to blow the head off of anything that moves.
I'm Alex, and I'll be playing Ezra the Divine. Ezra, or Israfel, or Hermes as they were once known, and don't like to talk about, is a disgraced angel sent to live on Earth after they got into some trouble and was sentenced to exile until they stood with a group of hunters in the final fight. Ezra was always on the lookout for their next noble mission to end their exile, but after a few centuries of the end times just not coming, Ezra started to try out some vices that life on Earth had offered. Equipped with a flaming sword and divine powers, Ezra found work as a monster hunter easy and a good source of fast cash. Ezra worked alongside Cindy years ago, only to find themselves back with her at Emond's as they try to keep their head low and their pockets filled. Oh, and also they look exactly like a 2000s era Josh Groban.
I'm Shannon, and I'll be playing Rodney the Gumshoe. Rodney is an honor-bound detective who loves conspiracy theories and big guns. He used to tail people for money until he found out about the supernatural world. Since then, he couldn't justify wasting his talents on spying on cheating spouses anymore. He tends to stay to himself, but after working a job with this new team, he stuck around a while. Rodney always tells Cindy that this job will be the last one before he goes, but it never is. Rodney's best friend is his bearded dragon named Eugene Toombs, and he likes to collect hats for Eugene. Rodney always has his magnum at his side and never keeps his back to a door.
I'm Xalavier Nelson Jr., and I'll be playing Lamar the Crooked. Lamar is looking for revenge. His little brother went missing, and after a torturous journey, Lamar found him, there in the sewers. Lamar was face to face with little drummer boys and the bloated corpse of his little brother. Lamar fought his way out of there armed only with the bladed arms of deceased LDBs. Now that Lamar knows what happened to his little brother, there's only one thing left to do. Kill every single little drummer boy. Also, Lamar looks exactly like Willem Dafoe.
Monsters come in all shapes and forms, but some monsters are so grotesque, only the bravest can stand against them. For the last few months, Cindy, Ezra, Rodney, and Lamar have been hunting down little drummer boys. These foul creatures inhabit the bodies of children that have been twisted and shaped by an unknown darkness. With hardened skin and hands that have transformed into blades, little drummer boys are something to behold. Our 4 hunters have tracked them down to their final nest in hopes to end them once and for all.
The 4 of you start out outside of a warehouse. You've tracked this down to the base of the little drummer boys. You did some recon to make sure that the coast was relatively clear, but there's definitely like a presence of little drummer boys outside on guard. Now that you're up close and seeing them, you've seen them time and time again, but you're still never really used to what they look like. It looks like humanoid children, but just terrible, scary little monsters. They have knives for hands. The texture of their skin varies from each of them. Some of them look more human and other ones look, weirdly scaly and reptilian. The 4 of you are outside of this warehouse and you're about to break in to hopefully end the little drummer boys. What do you do?
I feel like Ezra is probably sort of hanging out in the middle of the group. Like, I'm definitely not a point person, but I'm not bringing up the rear either. I think that despite all of the centuries that I've spent down among humankind, it's only served to confuse me about their exact durability ratings, because humans sometimes are like super fragile and like a car can kill them, but then other times like they'll survive the most ridiculous circumstances. So I'm just kind of really not sure what's going to kill these guys and what isn't, but I'm hanging out with my flaming sword, like trying to keep an eye on things.
How large is the flame coming from your flaming sword? Can it give away our position at all?
I feel like it varies. I feel like the flaming sword, at least as I'm envisioning it, sort of has like a low level burn happening on it all the time, but when I like raise it for battle, it rages into this inferno type situation.
It's got a pilot light.
Yeah, it's got like a pilot light always on.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a low blue flame around the outside, but when it's go time.
All right, so Ezra's kind of in the middle. Who's going to be taking up point?
I mean, I think my character would probably be up front.
And this is personal too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Lamar leading up front. What about Sydney and Rodney? Where are y'all going to be going in at?
I can be in the back because guns are really loud and I want to wait to use it. I don't want to give away our position.
Cindy's just bringing in her medical kit and her purse with all the snacks and everything. So, I mean, she's not really particularly armed, so probably in front of Rodney, but in the back.
So it'll be Lamar, Ezra, Cindy, and then Rodney bring up the rear. You can either just kind of run in, you can read a bad situation.
I could do that. I'm pretty good at that.
Oh, great. Yeah, so give me a roll and then add sharp.
That is totaling out to an 8.
You get to choose one off of the list from read a bad situation. You pick one of these and I'll tell you some answers or results from that.
I'm going to go with probably the most obvious one for us right now. What's the best way in?
Throughout your times helping on Little Drummer Boy missions, you have realized that there is a real good chance that the basis of these are human children, and they do love some snacks. So you got a purse full of snacks, and if you threw a distraction, they're probably going to go after those sweet gushers you got in your purse.
I do have a lot of gushers. Okay, yeah.
So anytime you act off information you get from a read a bad situation or like investigate a mystery, you get a +1 to it. So you're going to roll act under pressure, which is your cool modifier, and then you'll get an additional +1 since you have done that. So this is act under pressure to throw your gushers, and we're just going to see like how well you do it and how received they are.
8.
Great. So you throw a few packs of gushers. You were able to tell there was about 4 little drummer boys staying outside, 2 on each entrances. There's like one main entrance and one side entrance. You are able to pull off the 2 from the main entrance, but the 2 from the side entrance like look over and see that the gushers are, there's already so few in a pack, and they realize that those 2 aren't going to share. So they don't even bother to try to go over there. So it looks like
a Gushers subtweet.
So it looks like you can go into like the main entrance, but just out of general knowledge, usually main entrances are a lot more heavily guarded on the inside. The main entrance is unguarded, and the side entrance only has 2 little drummer boys. They do seem a little distracted though, because they do definitely have some FOMO from not eating gushers.
Well, first thing I'll tell everyone is y'all remember, you need to go for the arms. The arms are where the blades are. Feet do not have blades that I know of. I don't look at feet usually.
Mm-hmm.
Just
okay.
Look at the arms. Keep just that's what the things are.
As Lamar says this, you all do look down at the nunchucks that he has like on his belt that do seem like to be 2 blades, 1 arm each, like nunchucks made into like kind of like a makeshift nunchuck of little drummer boy hands.
Ezra looks real quick down at their arms as if reminding themselves which one's arms are, and then like nods a little bit like, okay, yeah, cool, got it.
So yeah, what do you want to do? You want to try to sneak into the front entrance, or you want to try to kill the little drummer boys on the side entrance and go in that way?
I feel like side entrance, especially because they're distracted, might give us an advantage.
Lamar, you're leading up front. You can give me a kick some ass rolls, and since they are distracted, I'll give you an additional +1.
I begin to walk up, my child's chucks tucked behind me. So that's an 8.
Anytime you fight something, you just exchange harm. So like if you get a full success, you can choose extra things like avoiding harm, inflicting more harm, or stuff like that. But on a mixed success, all that happens is like you just do blow for blows.
I kind of like wave, like I'm waving with hands, and I'm coming out of the darkness with these things tucked behind me, and I kind of wave, and at first they're kind of waving back like maybe your friend was there. But then it's me, and I just start chopping away.
Or you use your child chucks as a decoy from some bushes, and they think that like you're doing like, you know, the little drummer boy hello, and one walks up all excited, like waving with both hands, and then you just swipe off both of their hands, and like it lets out like a scream, but you're gonna take 1 harm because one of the hands falls down and stabs you in the foot that you just cut off.
Dude. Yeah.
Ow.
But you see this little drummer boy, as both of his hands are cut off, it just falls to the ground and it's just like oozing blood out of it. You probably have killed a few before, but as Lamar pointed out, like you want to go for the hands because they got a lot of arteries in there and it's effectively decapitation for them. So yeah, so that one's on the ground dying and bleeding out, and the other one's alerted. And it's like it's trying to like look out, because this is at nighttime, so it's trying to like look out past where like the light of the warehouse is shining. You can tell it's trying to decide like if it should go for an attack or if it should go inside to alert. The rest of the 3 of you will have a chance to act real quick.
All right, I'm gonna roll up in there with my flaming sword.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Are you like, because you've definitely been on Earth for multiple generations, so are you still gung-ho, like running to battle, or are you just kind of like sauntering up into battle like a badass?
I think it's kind of somewhere in between the two, but not in as cool a way as you would think. Like, if you were picturing Ezra as cool, you are kind of already on the wrong track. So I think I'm sort of essentially following behind Lamar here, and Lamar, like, charges into battle, does this really badass move, and I'm kind of like, I still don't love the idea of stabbing these child-looking things. Like, it's not awesome. But he, like, swiftly takes care of that one, and then I just sort of, like, walk over and I think direct, like, stab with my giant flaming sword into the torso of this thing.
All right, great. So yeah, just give me a kick some ass roll.
Yep.
So violent.
That comes out to a 7 plus 2 is 9.
You'll trade some blows. What is that, a 3 harm, correct?
The flaming sword is 3 harm, hand, fire, holy.
You just swipe it just in half.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of like cuts off its top half and falls over. And you did see Lamar just have the knife fall into his foot. So like you make sure to step back and avoid the knife falling on your foot. But you do step on the other knife hand that Lamar cut off, and you're going to take 1 harm.
Yeah,
as you're just
tracks.
like, damn it.
Just knife hands all over the place like Lego bricks.
They're everywhere.
Watch your step now.
You're able to wipe these 2 little drummer boys out fast enough, and the other 2 that were on the front entrance are still distracted by the gushers.
Hey, you gotta lick your fingers.
Yeah, I think one of the things about little drummer boys that you've like found out is they all have very bad object permanency and memories. So they are kind of easy to distract. So they keep forgetting that every time they bite into this tasty snack that there's like a delicious treat inside, which is the gush of the juice. And so it's really distracting them.
And you've observed this in the field before. You remember when we were at that place in Montana? I think it was Ezra who cut off one of their arms. And they looked down at their arms and they were really freaking out. But then they looked away and they forgot that their arm was cut off and you got to cut off the other one. It's just like that.
That's been a tried and true tactic ever since. I think that also, after I finish, like, just totally slicing this one in half, I sort of just reach down with my sword and kind of like just knock the like hands and blades out of the way, just sort of like putting them aside to make sure the others don't step on them.
Ezra's using their sword to just clear a path of the little drummer boy carcasses. The door you find is unlocked.
How much light is outside? Like, how much can we see?
So, you know, y'all are in Waukegan, Illinois. It's a city, a few hours north of Chicago. There's definitely a lot of outskirts. You guys are kind of on the further end of town. So this warehouse, imagine you don't have a lot of city light pollution. So it has some floodlights on each of the corners of the warehouse. But like past where that illuminates, it's pretty dark. And especially if you're standing within that light, it's hard to see past it. So Lamar and Ezra are definitely within like the lit up area. And then Rodney and Cindy, y'all were still holding back from your original position of scouting.
I have like a little tiny like digital like video camera, and I'm trying to get pictures of the dead little drummer boys, but it's a cheap camera and the lighting's not very good, so I stopped.
Okay, so yeah, you're trying to get some stuff for all your crypto friends online because they still don't believe you. I've been having arguments on
forums about whether little drummer boys are real and people don't believe me.
Yeah.
And I forgot to get pictures last time and now it's too dark.
Yeah, they're just like, you just taped knives on the dead body of a kid. That's not cool. Like, listen, sure, some of us have faked Bigfoot sightings, but this is like, there's a line. So you try to get that, but like I said, like you do find that the side door is unlocked.
I can read a bad situation. I can try. That's an 8.
Choose one off of the read a bad situation list.
So the question I want to ask is, are there any dangers we haven't noticed as far as the unlocked door?
So Rodney, you're definitely, you've been into a lot of conspiracy theories, you're a little paranoid, and like you guys have tracked down what you have thought through a lot of research and like findings is the location of the Alpha, and it does seem very weird that the door is unlocked, and it seems eerily quiet, way more quiet than you would assume, because especially like you've never really encountered little drummer boys that like are very well set up. It's definitely kind of like just a flood of chaos everywhere they go. And you have seen some of them like in guarding positions, but it does seem kind of weird of how little activity you notice right now. It just feels like this is not a great situation for some reason.
So is it quiet with anticipation, like with a surprise birthday party thing, or is it quiet dead?
It's definitely like the anticipation of like a child's birthday. Like you just kind of feel like something's waiting.
Well, I guess we should just go on in. I mean, do y'all want to keep the same marching order?
Cindy, one question. Since we know that there's going to be some stuff going on down here, you still got that van, right?
Well, yeah, no, of course I do.
How does it do with sharp collisions into immobile objects?
Lamar, dear, it's a van. It's not made for that.
I'm very surprised. I offered you money to modify it, get some battering rams on there.
I don't think it has the towing power for that, dear. Well, now I'm going for economy over style.
I'm just imagining like you pulling up your kid's soccer game in like a Mad Max van. Just the spikes and like flames coming off of it.
As y'all are trying to decide like whether to go in or not, you do notice, Cindy notices out of the corner of her eye that there's 7 pouches of Gusher on the ground, and a box of Gushers only has 8 pouches in it. So it definitely seems like it's getting close for them to finish up those sweet treats.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to care for the granola bars.
I love granola bars as a child.
I had one to Lamar. There you go. Don't open the wrapper now, though, all right? We're trying to keep quiet.
It's a very loud snack.
I take the granola bar, I sort of open up the side door, and I throw the granola bar inside to see if it gets blown apart by gun hand cannons or something.
Yeah, you throw it inside and you don't hear anything, and like you could like kept the door peeked open a little bit and like looked in, and it doesn't seem like it just throw it about 6 feet in front of you, and it hits the ground and just slides about a foot forward, and nothing seems to happen.
This is very unusual. I do not like this.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We can handle it.
Granola bars are fine. It's the non-reaction to the granola bars that I'm worried about. Quick question for Rodney. You got anything that allows you to sort of do a reverse ambush where you ambush their ambush?
Ambush their ambush? I'm good at asking questions and investigating. I'm not very good at ambushing child monsters, I would say. I do have a giant gun. I have like a 44 Magnum. I have like a Dirty Harry gun, but I'm kind of waiting to use that.
I was about to say, like, when you say that, do you just like pull it out and show everybody, like, I do have this outrageously large gun?
It's very heavy and impractical, but it's also very powerful.
Does the lizard have a gun?
My lizard, I have a pet bearded dragon named Eugene Toombs. I don't have him with me. He does not have a gun.
Yeah, he's at Ed Minions.
He has little cowboy hats, and I dress him up for holidays as well. And I go to reptile conventions.
I was literally just about to ask about the cowboy hats.
He likes the cowboy hats. I don't think Eugene would like guns. But yeah, I think we should just go on and see what happens.
Okay.
Maybe I can get some good footage.
If you want to, I'll take point again.
That sounds good.
Okay, I open up the door, and I'm not going to waste a granola bar, especially because...
That's a Quaker.
Those are good. It does look like the granola bar. Like you walk in and like you're very cautious and like looking around, and like you grab the granola bar and you're able to get it. You walk in, and once you realize that there's no immediate danger, you realize the area that you entered through. So it is like an old warehouse. It looked multi-leveled, and it looks like the area that you're in is kind of what used to be used as offices.
Okay.
You see a door. You see about 3 doors on each side of you that all look like to be like little offices, and then you see a door that leads out into the main warehouse.
Is there electric light in here, or is it dark in here as well?
There is electric light in here.
Okay.
I definitely want to check out the offices.
Is it possible that there is also access to a breaker within this general vicinity. So once we're finished investigating, we can turn off the lights.
It does not look like the breaker is in this room. So Rodney, you want to check out the offices. Like, what kind of stuff are you going to be looking for?
I guess anything out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because these aren't very smart creatures, so I don't think they'd be leaving any, like, paperwork behind. But if I see anything about how they took over, like, how the office building was transferred, or just anything weird, I'm not going to sit there and go through everything.
Transferred seems like a very generous word in light of, I think this is what they call in the business world a hostile takeover.
Give me a sharp roll. This is going to be kind of like read a bad situation, but I'm just going to kind of choose what all you find depending on the level of success.
I was a 6. So I'm a detective. I'm just like, it looks like an office.
You're going to mark an experience because like you start to go through the offices and like to you, there doesn't seem anything out of place. Each of the offices actually looks like they have like a lot of notes on them. They have computers that are around, they seem like 5 or 6 years old, not super outdated, but definitely not brand new. And then you start to like thumb through some files and stuff that you see because there is like most everything in the offices is like very dust covered. And there seems to be one file cabinet that like doesn't look dusty. And as you're starting to walk towards it, you trip on a computer cord monitor and then pull a computer screen and it comes crashing down. It makes a very loud noise that then in turn makes a very loud noise come from within the warehouse on the other side of the door, as you all recognize as the screech of Little Drummer Boys.
I whip out my child chucks in preparation. I
hate that they're called that.
Everybody does.
I keep investigating. I get up, I apologize, but if they're coming, I want to see what's in the file cabinet.
So you just apologize to the empty office you're in? Like, sorry.
I figured y'all would be around and would
Rodney
have
just sticks his head out the door. He's like, I'm fucking sorry, go! Okay, so we'll get back to Rodney in a second. So the three of you are left in kind of like the hallway of the office area, and you like hear like the scraping of like knives on the door in front of you. And you have experiences before. Little Drummer Boys do have a hard time opening doors. It's not that they can't, but it is the fact that they have knives for hands. And so like they're just trying to like, you see the doorknobs jiggling, and you have about 30 to 45 seconds until they actually get it.
Immediately when I hear the sound, I think I reflexively hold up my sword in sort of a combat position. And then as soon as I see the doorknob jiggling, I sort of drop it to my side, walk up to the door, and just put a foot up against it.
I have a bit of an idea. Do you remember that thing we did down in Texas?
With the duct tape?
No, the thing where you
thing.
set something on fire and I kick it towards people.
That was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's called the Texas Twister because I kind of have to do a little twist in my hips because my legs aren't great.
As you guys are saying this, both of you kind of look down and there is a metal trash bucket, and next to it there's a bunch of rags. And then in one of the offices that was searched, you did find a bunch of like high-proof whiskey.
There you go.
Oh, just a general note, too. The bottle you found says, Love Harold for our 10-year anniversary. But that's the note on the bottle. It's very dusty.
Sorry, Harold. I sheathe my sword temporarily, which I do by way of, I have the move what I need when I need it, which is my sort of divine pocket space move, which basically means I can store like any one object into this hammer space, essentially, and then retrieve it to my hand at any point.
That's awesome.
So I temporarily just vanish my sword into hammer space and then snag these rags in the whiskey bottle and sort of hold them up to Lamar like, yes?
I take the whiskey bottle and the rags and I make like a neat little collage on this door. I kind of have I have there's staplers. So I'm stapling rags to the door. I'm soaking them in whiskey, and I step aside to allow Ezra to do their thing.
First, you, Lamar, give me act under pressure.
So I got a 13.
Hey.
So you just like make this like fucking Sistine Chapel style rag art that like all of you are like, that's fucking beautiful. And as you're all admiring it,
light it on fire.
Very lovely, Lamar.
yeah, as all of you are admiring it, Ezra goes to set it ablaze. Since Lamar did such a good job, you're gonna roll to kick some ass, because pretty much what's gonna happen is like the door's gonna get open and you're gonna set everything on fire. So you're gonna get an additional +2 on your roll because of how good of a job Lamar just did.
Okay.
Cindy snaps a picture of it first with her phone. Anytime any of you guys do anything lovely, she's gonna embrace it and cherish it.
That's perfect.
Right.
My base roll is an 11. I get a +2 from my tough rating, which makes it a 13, and then another +2, so that's a 15.
Jeez.
Fuck.
So Lamar sets up all the rags, and then you are just standing right outside the door waiting for it to open. And like as soon as it opens, you see 5 little drummer boys burst in. The flame on your sword isn't even past pilot light, and you just like tap it down on a line of foolproof alcohol that just like ignites and just immediately sets ablaze every single little drummer boy just before they can even get to you. And like one from the very back like tries to like use the bodies of the little drummer boys, like the dead bodies in front of it, to like launch off of and like attack you, but you just like spin around and just slice it in half like without effort. And it just seems like the group of little drummer boys that you just alerted, like you just murdered so efficiently.
And then I kind of twirl my sword around and go, and the flame goes out.
You're a natural.
I love the idea that Ezra looks like Josh Groban too.
Circa 2007 Josh Groban, so like before he had his act together too.
This whole thing just happened, and Rodney was still searching inside of the filing cabinet, and what you start to find is a series of, it looks like a bunch of like different notebooks with like just the scramblings of a madman inside, and then there's a bunch of maps and stuff like that. Give me another sharp roll to see how much of this you can kind of put together.
It's a 6. Making me roll for stuff.
What is your sharp modifier? You're a detective. Shouldn't that be your best stat?
It's +1. Charm is my best stat.
Somebody can try to roll like a help out. You can roll plus cool if someone wants to try to help out Rodney. Yeah, so I think that Sydney can look in there and see Rodney like feels bad about the computer, and he's like looking at all these papers and it's just like can't make heads or tail of it. So give me just roll with cool.
That will be a 7.
So you go in there and you start to, just give some words of encouragement to Rodney. You're very used to seeing, like, to helping your kids out with homework and stuff like that.
It's just like, pointing out the obvious answer and trying to make it seem like, he's the one that landed on it.
Yeah. So one of the things of note that you see that you help point Rodney to, you're like, oh, a lot of this is just chronological events about just mysterious things happening. And then you pull out a map that like Rodney had looked at and just thrown aside because Rodney's not great at reading maps. Rodney's like still trying to put things together, and you kind of put the map on the wall and you just sit back and go, maybe this has something to do with it. And you see that it's a map of Illinois, and there's X's all over it, and then there's a giant circle around Waukegan, Illinois, which is the city all of you are in.
Just like, I can't for the life of me figure out why this map of Illinois has all these little places marked on it.
Now, I for some reason think that this might be connected.
But Sydney is so sweet.
I can't wrap my mind around it.
Rodney realizes what Cindy is doing, but he appreciates it, so he doesn't super call attention to it. He's like, yeah, and he like takes out his camera, takes a whole bunch of pictures of the map. I think one of my items is a laptop, so I feel like I would have a laptop bag or messenger bag with me. Can I just shove some of these papers in it, the ones that look the most important?
I think you can take some in there, and then any of the like pictures you snap, you definitely have it set up to where you can like auto load up to the cloud, so they're on your computer. So I think you're able to just like gather together enough of the information to where you can review it later.
Perfect.
All right, Lamar and Ezra, come here. I want you to gather up. We're taking a photo of you and your kills here.
Okay, so should I still have my child checks, or should I put those? How do you want me to do that?
Oh, hold up your weapons. Be proud of it. There you go.
Rodney like mimes a pose, like you could do like this, or you could do, and I'm taking pictures too. I'm paying more attention to the corpses than Lamar, but I get a couple of like full shots.
There you go. That's great. These are going to look real good up on the wall.
Ezra loves pictures. This is the coolest invention of the past 500 years.
Y'all do a nice little photo shoot from the main room of the warehouse. You hear what sounds kind of like rattling of some chains, but it sounds like it doesn't look like there was like a sub-level here. It just looked like there was like multiple above levels, but it does kind of sound like there might be like some subterranean stuff going on if you go deeper into the warehouse.
Ooh.
From your description of the space, it sounds like if we come out into the main warehouse, we'd be above whatever is below.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, we've got all these really sharp hands on the ground, we could just kind of push this pile of corpses so it dumps on whatever sounds like it's rattling and very dangerous below us.
If you want to do that, you're going to give me an act under pressure roll, and I'll give you an additional +1 because I love your use of these corpses.
That's real clever thinking there, Lamar.
You're too supportive.
That's an 8 altogether.
So what's going to happen is you're pushing these corpses down. You throw one corpse down, and you hear like the little drummer boys. It does sound like they have a language, but it's not like an audible like language. It sounds like a series of like grunts and screams and clicks. Lamar has tracked them enough to where he doesn't understand them, but does fully believe that they have a full version of communication. You throw one of the bodies down and you hear a few grunts and clicks from below, and then you hear like footsteps going up, and you throw another one down, and then you hear like not a grunt as if they're talking, but it sounds like the body you just threw fell down. So you're just throwing corpse after corpse, and it seems like they're just running up the stairs to check it out, and you keep hitting them.
It's like Donkey Kong, but with children's bodies.
Let's say you had the 2 corpses outside, you had the 5 inside, so you had 7 in total. So you just threw your 7th down there, and then like Lamar feels very proud of what he's doing, and he turns around and goes, okay, I think we got it. And due to your mixed success, what happens when you get that is there's going to be a price to pay. So Lamar turns and goes, yeah, I think we got it. And then all of you see like the knife hands of a little drummer boy come up and stab Lamar in the back. And then you see Lamar get pulled down into the stairwell. And then Lamar, you're going to take 2 harm.
Oh, that sounds like a 2 harm sort of thing.
1 harm for each knife hand.
No.
As far as the evidence, I'm just gonna leave it, I think, unless y'all wanted to destroy it.
We kind of got a problem.
Yeah, there's other stuff going
Oh,
on.
Rodney's like, so do we want to burn this? Oh, did Lamar get stabbed? Okay, but real quick, yay, nay, or...
Very evidence focused.
Cindy rushes forward.
Okay, if Cindy's rushing forward, I'm going to do the same.
So what is Cindy wanting to do? Are you wanting to try to go help?
I want to try to pull him away.
I do have knives in my back, just to be clear.
Yeah, but knives are
And
straight.
they're hooked.
All I have to do is pull you straight off.
Yeah, so we're going to do protect someone. So you're going to give me a roll with plus tough.
So I just rolled 2 1s, so that would be a 4.
Cindy walks up and is like, oh no, Lamar. And then like you go stand where he was and you're just like, wait a minute, I don't see him. And you turn back around in the same position and you're just like, I don't know where Lamar went. And then sure enough, you all see 2 more sets of knife hands come out, and Cindy gets stabbed in the back and pulled down. Cindy, because you failed, the knives are going to give you 2 harm, and then you are going to take an additional 1 harm.
Oh.
Okay, I see this. I like drag a hand down my face, and then I remove my flaming sword from Pocket's face, and I go in and kick some ass. Oh my god, that's a 6. Ugh.
Can I help?
Burn the dice if they fail you.
It was a 10.
Hey!
Oh, okay. So
Just got lucky.
Ezra goes, looked, and is like, no one's here, and then starts to turn around to say that to Rodney. And Rodney screams, don't turn around! Stop! And then you like remember like what you just saw, and like you immediately turn back, and sure enough, there was some knives going for you. So you'll get to stab it, and then it stabs a hand at you. So you're gonna take 1 harm because like only one hand stabs you, but sure enough, you're able to like impale it with your 3 harm flaming sword, and so you do kill it.
That's fine. I have holy armor, so I'm good.
Okay, but so now that you're kind of like standing over the stairwell, you do see that Cindy and Lamar aren't unconscious. They're struggling, but there's just a bunch of little drummer boys like trying to tie them up. But it's funny because they're using rope and they keep constantly cutting the rope and stuff like that. And the only thing that's really holding the 2 of them down is like the knife hands. And it's not that the little drummer boys are strong. It's just that like if you fight back against their holding, you just get stabbed.
I'm getting very frustrated though, because I'm like, just put your hands together, hold them with the flat sides of the blade.
You're like coaching them through tying you up because it's just so frustrating to watch. The secondhand embarrassment is just too strong.
From the top of the stairwell, Rodney's like, don't help them! Don't help them! I'm gonna try to come down.
They're having so much trouble.
Cindy and Lamar, what are you 2 doing? You're down there, and like I said, so Lamar, you know this about little drummer boys. They're definitely attracted to subterranean spaces, and now that you're down in this, it does look like this warehouse has been retrofitted to have a connection to the sewer system of Waukegan.
I presume, based off previous experiences, that we do not want to be dragged into the sewers with knife hands?
Yeah, you do not, because the deeper you go in, the more little drummer boys tend to be like.
I'm sorry, I really love that you felt like you needed prior experience to help you make that judgment call.
So
do
these
I
things
want
are
to be
trying
dragged
to
into the sewer by knife hands? Prior experience says no.
They're trying to drag me into the sewers. I don't know if I've been in a situation like this before, so it might be beneficial to just kind of go deeper. I don't
There
know.
are good sewers and bad sewers.
It's impossible for me to tell which one. Let me think on all the things that have happened to me before.
How many of them are down here with us?
There's 3 on each of you.
Ooh, that's
because
a lot.
and there's also a bunch that are dead on the stairs too. So there's a mixture of the burnt corpses from inside of the office, the corpses that were on the side door guarding, and then the few that were walking up and kept having little drummer boys dropped and killing. Are there too.
Is it possible for them to reuse our brilliant throwing bodies on top of other bodies strategy?
It is possible, but your bodies would be some of the bodies that the bodies would be thrown at.
I mean, is that a risk we have to take?
I pull out my gun.
Yeah, that's it. Y'all can try to fight these things. I love how you're trying to what are some creative options how to get rid of these things? You've already established they're pretty easy to murder. They don't have a lot of health.
Yeah, I want to read a bad situation here.
Well, here's the first thing. You're tied up by goblin children. Also, they have knife hands.
Yeah.
Those are both bad things.
Those are freebies.
Based on previous experience, you know that's not fun.
That would be an 11.
Ask 3 questions off of that list. You can also hold these. You don't have to ask all of them right now. You can kind of use them as you go for the next couple of turns.
Okay, well, first and foremost, what's the best way to protect the victims?
It's a stretch of a distance, but there does seem to be a water connection port for the fire hose system down there, and so there is the hose that you connect to it attached in the glass wall, but what you do see is there's a open and close valve that's kind of pointed directly at the little drummer boys on top of you. So you do see you might be able to hit that open, and the way it's positioned, hopefully it would miss the 2 of you.
I also have an idea, because we're both, I presume, staying very still, because there's a lot of stabby things happening on top of it. Cindy, you still got those granola bars?
Sure do.
Granola bars are really hard, right?
They are.
How would you feel about granola bar armor?
I don't think that would be quite as effective as you would hope against knives.
Throw me some granola bars, Simity.
Yeah, I guess I tossed some in my bag with the granola bars.
What are you trying to do?
I'm going to catch the granola bars and use them to sort of to block the stabby things above me and get into a position where I can effectively fight and help me and Cindy.
Roll to act under pressure.
I got a 12.
Woo! The stupidest fucking thing, and this is what you roll a 12 on? Okay, so you fucking use these granola bars, and she throws them to you, and you immediately just grab one and fling it forward, and a little drummer boy tries to bring his knife hand down on you. It slices through the packaging immediately, and you hear a squeak come from it that you've heard before is kind of a mocking tone, because it thinks oh, I just ripped this thing in half, but all it did was just open this package, and then as soon as it did that, a piece of granola bar chunks off into its eye, and it screams, falls back, stabbing one behind it, and then it sets off a domino effect as you're just blocking these fucking little drummer boy hands with granola, and they're just attacking and chunking it away, and it's just all just flying in their fucking faces, and they're all just screaming. They can't see anything. They also hate how healthy these snacks are, and so they're trying to get it out of their mouths, but they have knife hands, so they're just kind of stabbing themselves in each other. And so somehow Lamar, with 2 granola bars, has just taken down all 6 little drummer boys.
Can I follow this up with something?
Yes.
I think then what you get is from their perspective, you get a shot of me and Rodney just charging down the stairs, gun out and flaming sword held high, and we get to the bottom and kind of look around and, oh.
Yeah, you get down there and there's just a littering of granola bar wrappers and dead little drummer boys with just bits and pieces of granola on the ground.
There's one particularly chunky pile of blood, and I'm feeling the adrenaline is really high, and I just 2 fingers dip into that thing, and I chop down on the granola that was in the blood pile, and I go and then I realize what I've done.
Dear, don't do that. That's very unsanitary.
It tastes like granola soup.
I do love that the two of you came down like ready to just like, all right, we gotta go fucking murder these things. We're gonna protect our friends. Probably gave each other a little rallying up speech, and then yeah, sure enough, Lamar took him down with 2 fucking granola bars.
Yeah, Lamar's injured, and so am I. So I'm gonna apply some first aid to Lamar. Medic, you have a full first aid kit and training to heal people. So that would be a 12 total.
So with that, I'll just go ahead and say instead of doing the 2 harm to heal, you'll actually be able to heal 3 harm.
I feel rejuvenated. The taste in my mouth from the unwise eating decision notwithstanding.
There's a little bit of Listerine in here.
You're getting patched up, and then the same like rattling noise that you guys heard before when you're upstairs happens. But this time, as I said before, they don't really have a discernible language. Lamar's the only one that really like has done any kind of tracking. But it's terrifying to you because you do hear kind of like a series of squeaks, grunts, and yells that sound too similar to the name Lamar.
Ooh.
Hey, Cindy, were you saying my name just a second ago?
Oh no, I was a little bit distracted. Got another picture?
And as she's showing you some more pictures that she took, you all for sure hear what you can only assume is a little drummer boy saying the name Lamar. And it sounds like it's coming from a corridor a bit down the hall that you guys are in.
I definitely have my audio recorder out, recording
I
it.
really don't like... Okay, something saying my name.
Is it like a, just for flavor text, is it like a menacing sound? Is it like a pleading kind of sound? Like
it's menacing as fuck.
Okay,
you don't have to roll to just be like, oh, this isn't great. But like I said, but it doesn't sound like it's like a human voice. Like I said, it's like a series of like the grunts, squeaks, clicks, and things like that. But yeah, but like it's like forcing itself to say Lamar.
Well, that's disconcerting. Feel you may have upset them, Lamar.
I think it was the granola bars. So this is a corridor pretty close to us?
So you kind of are at a corridor where like it leads off into like 5 or 6 different tunnel paths, but it's very obviously coming from like the one to your right, that direction.
I sigh and say, well, screw it. And I start walking in the direction of the thing calling my name.
I sort of raise my sword defensively and I say, so we're doing the Texas thing where we go towards the thing that wants to kill us, instead of the other Texas thing where we go the opposite direction.
You can choose the Texas thing, but I'm doing the Texas 2-step from now. Let's keep walking in the direction.
I feel as if, like, the whole reason that we came here, got ourselves stabbed multiple times, is down that way. The intention was to walk away, and then I would have just stayed at home with Susan.
How much damage does Cindy have?
3.
Okay, when you say that, I'm going to smile and sort of put my hand on your shoulder. I have a move called Lay on Hands, which is your touch can heal injury and disease. So when I lay my hands on someone hurt, I roll plus cool. That is a 7. On a 7 to 9, I heal the harm or illness for 2 harm, but I do take it into myself. So
okay.
I heal 2 of your harm points and mark them on myself. I think I sort of just put my hand on your shoulder as we're getting ready to move away, and I sort of nod, and you can see me wince a little bit, but I'm sort of masking it with a like, alrighty then, after you.
So yeah, y'all going in the same marching order that we had before.
As we walk, I would sort of like to hold my sword up above my head, like to illuminate the corridor a bit, just so we have a little bit more visibility. Since
you're actually in the front, Lamar, with the aid of the like angelic light emitting from the sword, if you want to give me a read a bad situation roll, I'll give you an additional +1 on it, since you do definitely have enough light to see.
8.
So you can choose 1 off of the read a bad situation list.
The definition of victims is quite broad. We are all victims, so there is something very bad I'm about to see. What's the best way to protect all of us?
The best way to protect all of you is as you start to like get closer and like and it sounds like they're saying your name at a more rapid interval.
They? They singular or is they plural?
Well, the thing that it sounds like there might be multiple things in there, but the reason why you're starting to really notice something about this, you recognize the voice of your little brother.
I stop in my tracks.
Yeah, you hear it, and but there's like some more like scraping and stuff like that. And the best way to protect yourselves is like you kind of start to put together in your head, like with your kind of crooked lifestyle, you're always like looking out for yourself. The only person you ever really cared about is your little brother. And then over time, you know, just as all siblings, you grow up, you kind of go on your own path. You just started to hear less and less from your brother until you got the calls that like he was onto something, he had figured something out, and he kind of went, you know, radio silence on you for at least a year until you started searching for him. And that's when you got on the trail of the Little Drummer Boys. And whenever all of you actually found Lamar, he told you this later, the body that like he was trying to protect in those sewers was the body of his little brother, because that's, you know, was the last place that his GPS signal had been found. And so Lamar had gone searching in the sewers for weeks on end, like, you know, taking deep dives in there and coming back up for supplies, you know, eventually finding out about a lot about the Little Drummer Boys. But
that's how I know that there are good sewers and bad sewers.
But you now kind of put it together that you don't really know if that was your brother's body, and you are kind of worried that your little brother maybe didn't stumble upon something, but he created something.
I'm stopped in my tracks, and I look back and I see this group that's behind me, and I'm kind of torn for a second because of what I know, because of what this could mean, and I pull out my shotgun and I start moving forward at a jog. I'm going for my brother.
You see Lamar, like, you see him pull out the shotgun and, like, march forward with determination. As I said before, every time you've encountered Little Drummer Boys, they've always seemed like just be very chaotic in nature and just more about just, you know, just committing like acts of violence and just like giving in to like their most basic desires. But as Lamar makes around the corner, it's an eerie sight. You just see 5 Little Drummer Boys standing at attention almost, and then at this just cobbled together shrine of like, you know, just trash and old discarded pipes is a throne, and on top of it sits the most humanoid looking Little Drummer Boy any of you have ever seen. And Lamar, you do recognize it as your little brother.
Does my little brother seem like capable of human speech?
What's scary to you is you walk around and you've never actually seen any of the Little Drummer Boys like make a lot of the noises. You hear them from a distance, but usually it's just that. But what you're actually seeing, the way he's saying Lamar is he's actually scraping his knife hands on the ground. The vibration that he's creating from that is actually how it's saying Lamar. And as soon as you walk in, like he just meets eyes with you, and there's just like one final Lamar scrape across the concrete in front of him.
So I've got a move called Notorious, which allows me to reveal who I am and allows me to manipulate others at a cost. And I say, you know what I've seen, little brother? You know what I've done to get here? And all the while I'm marching past, almost like I'm strong-arming my way to his throne with my words. I'm like, I sacrificed everything for you. I searched for you for weeks. What the hell do you think you've done? I mourn for you. And at this point, I think I'm really close to him, right?
Yeah, all like you're walking forward, and like with every step, you're like looking to see if the Little Drummer Boys that were staying at attention like move, and like they're just like guarding that fucking the Queen's Palace, like you know, still.
Have I managed to like go past them to where I'm standing next to my brother now? I'm looking him in the eyes.
I'd say you're like a good 5 feet in front of your brother, who has just kind of like, he's still sitting on his makeshift throne, and like, but he's like kind of slouched in it, and like his eyes have just like stayed on you the entire time, and it doesn't really seem like he's like making any kind of move whatsoever. So you're definitely within 5 feet of him.
When I'm standing within, let's say 3 feet, I stop, I look down, I look up again, and I say, I ain't gonna mourn no more. And I pull and I blast him with the shotgun.
Well, let's do 2 things. So first, you're gonna give me that first roll for your expose yourself roll, and then we're gonna follow that up with some kick some ass. But I want to see how the manipulate roll kind of goes, and then we'll just let that kind of decide what bonuses you get.
Rodney feels so awkward. he's just like kind of looking around.
I really like dealing with my own family stuff.
Ooh.
Cindy looks so proud, like standing up for himself. Good job.
And the expose yourself roll, it is a counting all bonuses. counting this emotional moment, it is a 2.
Oh no!
All right, so you're gonna roll to kick some ass, and you're gonna get an additional -1 to your roll, mark an experience, because you definitely know that you just let yourself out there and gave this heartfelt thing, and your little brother's eyes are definitely, it's his eyes, but they're staring black at you, blank and dead, even though they have like life coursing through its veins. Like, you know 100% nothing you said got through this. Your little brother is gone.
That is a 7.
What's the harm on the shotgun?
3.
Yeah, you pull out your shotgun and blast it. And as we said before, like, you definitely want to try to cut off their hands. That's their weak point. So you blast it, and sure enough, it takes a buckshot in its chest, and it's just bleeding. But as soon as that happens, like, you get 2 little drummer boy knives, like, in your stomach. And these are a bit larger than the other ones, so you're gonna go ahead and take 2 harm.
Can I do something dope that might backfire?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I also want to kind of roll 2 moves into one here.
Perfect.
I have a move that I don't have to roll for called Angel Wings. You can go instantly to anywhere you visited before or to a person you know well. So what I want to do, narratively, is I want to use my Angel Wings move, and the second I see this start to happen, I understand, like, this is not going to go well. This was a terrible idea. Like, he's a human. I know that they have some variable abilities here, but this will not go well. I know that. And so I, like, make as if to move. In a beam of light, I warp across the room, essentially, ending up right in front of Lamar, and then I'd like to roll to protect someone.
Okay, yeah, roll it.
That is a 9 + 2, 11.
You teleport, like, so the shotgun blast goes off, and Lamar, like, you kind of, like, are expecting to get stabbed, because you've definitely dealt with little drummer boys enough that you've been stabbed a lot. But the shotgun blast goes off, and then, like, you close your eyes ready for the blast, and then you just feel like the back of Ezra's shirt, like, right up on your face. You all see, like, 2 knives, like, go digging in. Because you got that, you get to pretty much just take no harm, because you have your -1 on your own, and then you have the -1 from the 10.
Yeah.
My voice muffled by Ezra's shirt. I say, thanks, Ezra.
Yeah. Ezra protects Lamar, and as soon as this happens, the 5 little drummer boys, like, all let out, like, a shriek and, like, turn. The setup of this room is a real, like, just cool looking sewer. So there's, like, a lot of water around, and then there's a grate leading to the back area where they built this throne. So the drummer boys were standing about ankle to calf high in some, like, sewage water. And you were all, like, on this grate walking towards Lamar's little brother. And so the 5, like, turn at you, are now starting to, like, run in. So what are y'all going to do?
How many of these little boys would cast out evil count against?
What is cast out evil?
You may banish an unnatural creature from your presence.
Go to your room!
So yeah, just actually give me a roll, and then we're going to kind of see how well you do.
That would be an 11.
Jesus.
On a 10+, it is banished.
How do you do that? Like, what does it look like for you to do that move?
Essentially, all it does is just make them go away. They are unharmed. I have no control over where they go and what they do afterwards. It's just, they aren't here anymore. She just points at them. She's like, now, can't you all see that this here is a private moment and y'all are interrupting? You need to get out of here right now. Go on, we will get to you later.
Yeah, you say that, and they all kind of, like, look a little confused, and you give, like, one final, go on, and then as soon as Cindy says that, like, you just see all 5 of these little drummer boys just, like, poof, and they're gone. Cindy just fucking sent them to their rooms, and then now all there is the one alpha little drummer boy, Lamar's little brother. What is Rodney gonna do?
I have a move called Occult Confidential, where the first time in each mystery that I observe a monster, minion, or phenomenon in action, I can ask one question off the Investigate a Mystery list. I guess that means when I see a monster for the first time.
It is definitely, like, a different little drummer boy you've ever seen. So I'll go ahead and give you that. So go ahead and ask your question on Investigate a Mystery.
I wanted to ask what is being concealed here, to see if we're missing anything, because it's like the other questions are like, how can I hurt it? It's like, well, we want to cut its hands off. That seems pretty obvious. But
what was your little brother's name?
Jackie.
You're a good detective, you're good with people, but you're never really great with the research. And a lot of times what happens to you is you have a lot of shower moments. And what that means is shit where, like, you're just trying to fucking do something all day and you can't do it. Like, you can't figure out for the life of you, and then you just say, fuck it, and you walk away, and you, like, go have a beer, take a shower, and it's just like, boom, it fucking clicks. All of the pages and all of the notes, they were logs. They were from Jackie. you realize that, like, this wasn't a place that Jackie came to after they turned. This was Jackie's base of operations. There was other people working for them. And you realize, like, it's a weird thing because you start to, like, remember some, like, notes that you saw in there where at first it was, like, notes about discovery and theories on things like that. But then as the notes started going on deeper and deeper in a lot of the journals you found, all the cryptic messages, they start to kind of make sense. Like, Jackie didn't create what he is. Jackie chose to become this for something else. There was another purpose that Jackie always alluded to, and in the few bits of the notes you saw, you didn't really put together what that purpose was. What's being hidden here is, like, this was a choice. What Jackie is purposeful. Even though this was the base of operations, you saw notes from, like, different maps all over, but everything pointed back to Waukegan, Illinois, where you all live. And so what's being concealed here is, like, there's definitely something more than just Lamar's little brother has become a monster.
It was in the service of something.
Yeah.
Or someone.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna this seems very personal. So as far as, unless I need to, I don't, you don't really hold your action in Monster of the Week. I'm not gonna shoot or anything. I'm gonna kind of let them talk this out or whatever.
And then we'll go back to kind of the top, like, especially because, like, you know, Jackie tried to shove the blades into Lamar and Ezra as blocking. So Ezra.
Yeah, I think kind of what I'm envisioning is I appeared in this blinding flash of divine light. Cindy turns around, banishes these creatures. Everything is kind of, like, shocking. We turn back to where we are, and Jackie is still standing there with, like, knives embedded in my torso, and we're all just kind of like, none of this has gone the way we expected.
I have a very weird idea.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, get your granola bars out.
My face is currently buried in the back of your shirt.
Yep.
If I just kind of, like, lean out and I have my shotgun, they're buried. The hands
I am
are
your
buried.
holy armor now.
The hands are buried in your torso. I could just blow off his arms from here.
Yeah.
Do it. Use me as a not quite human shield.
Yeah, roll, kick some ass, and you'll get a +1 because you're using Ezra as a not quite human shield, as a celestial shield.
So if you fail and damage is exchanged, does that come
Ezra's
back to
gonna
me?
take the damage.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I got a 4. Sorry.
No.
Ezra, you're just like, all right, so no matter what, oh shit, because you're trying to tell Lamar not to shoot you, and Lamar is like, hold on, I gotta load the shotgun, and Lamar just shoots the shotgun into your leg, and you're gonna take 3 harm.
Ooh, God.
Even though you have, like, the divine armor, like, you know, that only protects from 1, like, you just got, like, you know, shotgun shells in the leg from point blank, and so, like, Ezra is now, like, down on the ground, like, really in pain.
And I am unstable now, just so you know.
Lamar, trigger discipline. How many times I gotta tell you?
Lamar, you have a split second to act. It does look like there are 2 knives now coming straight for your throat.
I still got the nunchucks at my side, right?
Yeah.
I remove one of my hands from the shotgun and I whip out the child chucks and hope something good happens.
All right, act under pressure, roll plus cool. And I'm gonna go ahead and also give you a -1 since what just happened.
So that's a 7?
All right, so this is what's gonna happen is, like, you're just, like, freaking out. You see these knives coming for you, and you're just like, shit, and you pull out your nunchucks. You just swing them wildly. You feel 2 knives bear down into your chest. You're gonna take 3 harm, and you fall back. And as you do that, you actually slice off the hands of your little brother, and they're embedded in your chest as you fall back on the ground.
Because of the sound that his hands make against, like, solid objects. When he buries it and it scrapes against my ribcage, does it sound like he's saying Lamar?
It sounds like he says, that's my Game Boy.
I scream out, motherfucker, it was my Game Boy! Ah!
This little drummer boy, being, like, the alpha, is larger than all the other little drummer boys you see. So the amount of, like, blood that it spews out from, like, its wrist is just covering Ezra and Lamar as they're on the ground.
Cool.
Oh my, that's gonna take forever to wash
The body
out.
just kind of slumps over and, like, falls off the grate and just, like, floats in the ankle-deep water. As you lay that final blow and, you know, it seems like it's bleeding out, you start to hear the screams of what can only sound like thousands of little drummer boys, but this isn't the scream of, like, their battle cry. It sounds like this was, like, their home, and killing this alpha has killed the whole line down.
Rodney's trying to be, like, sensitive, but he also runs down and is taking a lot of pictures. And
Is everyone okay? Is everyone step. Okay, just want to make. Does anyone need any healing? Step.
I'm like putting my hand on Lamar's shoulder, like I'm so sorry. As I turn and like look into the camera, and I'm like taking more pictures of the bodies.
You put your hand on his shoulder and pick it back up because you're like, oh, that's a lot of blood. Oh my god.
And I, like, wipe
So
it off,
yeah,
and
Ezra and Lamar are
forum.
just like. Yeah, it's just like an Evil Dead 2 level amount of blood, like just everywhere.
Well, I'm glad I brought towels for the van.
Yeah, it does seem like you all were successful. Like you killed this alpha of these monsters, and you know it sent a ripple effect down the line of them, and you've saved the day from any future Little Drummer Boy incidents.
I kind of do that thing like in cartoons, you know, where they like spit out like a fountain. I just kind of slowly let out a stream of just the blood that was dumped on me and in me.
And that's really gross, dear.
I don't like it either, Cindy.
Well, I'll go fetch the towels.
Generally, you know, it is tradition after a completed mission, everyone goes back to Edminions. They get some food, have some drinks, and just kind of swap stories about it, but it's also just a really cathartic thing at the end of a long, fucked up thing. Y'all, you know, make your way back up in the warehouse. It really does seem like there's no presence of Little Drummer Boys. You see a few extra dead ones that you hadn't noticed before. You make your way to Cindy's van. You all try to get in, and she just stops. She's like, you know the rules, and she just hands you towels.
I'm already putting down the tarp in there.
She definitely has like a plastic covering that's usually intended for like transporting animals, but in this case, you know, it's blood-soaked hunters. You get in the minivan and you make your way back to Edminions. How are you all feeling? Any thoughts?
I'm feeling quiet and covered in blood. And I did just kill my brother and also shoot one of my best friends in the leg. I think it's fair to say that we're best friends. Once you exchange gunshots.
Yeah. Once somebody takes a knife stab for you and you in exchange shoot them in the leg, that's definitely how best friends are made.
Yeah. That's the only good outcome from that situation.
That's my favorite buddy comedy trope, you know?
There are a lot of negatives. That's the one good side. Ezra is unstable, and I think that for a divine being, there's not really a lot you can do in that circumstance except sort of wait for the holy healing to kick in. So I've got like a towel tied around my torso.
Also, it's fun too because y'all have seen Ezra get unstable before. Like Ezra has some connection to the divine, you know, realms, obviously with the use of their powers. But they can usually control them. But then every once in a while, like Ezra's wings like pop up, and she's ah, damn it! And then and so you all know that, you know, it's a minivan. So there's 2 seats up front, the little 2-seater half seat, and the big seat in the back. Whatever Ezra's unstable, you got to give them the whole back seat because you will just keep hitting with their wings.
Yeah, I'm like laying across the bench in the very back, and like I am sort of in and out of consciousness, and I think Lamar is in like the middle row in front of me, and occasionally it's just like feathers in Lamar's face.
And Rodney's just in the front just being like, Instagram's gonna fucking flip their shit. I cannot.
I'm on a cryptid forum arguing already. I'm not paying attention to anyone else. I'm just on my phone. I'm just like, yes, take that.
And people are like, oh, wait, are these burned children? What the hell?
They're not children. They're little drummer boys. I've been saying this for weeks.
Someone says this is a Christian cryptozoology forum. You can't be posting things blaspheming our savior on here.
No, it's cool. One of my best friends is an angel.
I post the photo with Ezra in it.
Yeah, but it's just Josh Groban throwing up the peace sign. They're like, why the fuck did you send me an early 2000s Josh Groban photo? Stop sending me this picture. Josh Groban's not an angel.
Although a lot of the Christian moms do really like Josh Groban, especially after that rendition of the prayer.
So you guys all make your way back to Edminions. And like I said before, it's just, you know, the local hunter hangout. Most of you do stay there. Cindy does have a house outside of there with, you know, her lovely wife and kids. As soon as you get in, Cindy tells the back room, like, hey, you know, we got another end of mission special. And so that's just, they're rolling out the feast. They all know your favorite meals. You know, they got, you know, cases of your favorite drinks.
towels do not fix the fact that we're still covered in blood.
There is just like a little back, it's not like an outhouse, but it is like an outdoor shower area that just has like hoses and a lot of industrial strength cleaner, because this is a place that hunters go after missions. So like at 100%, everything down to even like, mechanic hand cleaner to get even the toughest stains off of your skin. Like you can go and scrub out all of the little brother body parts from your hair.
Cindy's got a change of clothes for everyone. Like just a spare that she keeps around.
Yeah, so y'all get cleaned up. You do your healing. Ezra, you do your prayer stuff to get some of the healing back. So you can, if anyone's unstable, you can heal enough to like get right below unstable. What are each of your favorite meals that you eat after a big mission?
I think that Ezra doesn't really need like food in the conventional sense, right? But they really, really love root beer floats.
I've got a big plate of fries, but I'm not feeling very hungry tonight for obvious reasons.
You like are very excited to eat the fries, and then you cover them in ketchup, and then just kind of stop, and they're just like staring, and you're just like, oh, bad choice.
Can't touch them. Sorry, Cindy. Didn't mean to waste food.
That's understandable, dear. You just relax. You have yourself a nice night, okay?
What are Cindy and Rodney's meals?
Cindy's just having like a nice little tuna salad sandwich.
And then Rodney, what's your meal? Also, what is your bearded dragon eating alongside you in its cowboy hat?
I'm eating like a huge, like disgusting hamburger that has like a fried egg on it and like bacon and like a big plate of fries. I might steal Lamar's fries if he's not eating them. And I'm feeding my bearded dragon like a little tiny strawberry and kale salad on my shoulder.
Perfect. Yeah. So you have that. And actually, so you've all seen like the little beer helmets where you can put 2 beers in there. Rodney's actually done like a little makeshift to where like the holsters of the beer are a little bit down to where they rest around collarbones on his shoulders. So his bearded dragon can actually wrap around and eat from the side of it. And it's a very adorable thing. It doesn't matter how many times you see this, like you love it every time. So Ed Minion's is an interesting bar. It's been there forever. No one has ever met Ed Minion. It has just kind of been there, and then like everyone in town, even before, like Cindy was like the first one to kind of find it, and I think it was even like Cindy to kind of turn this place into like a hunter haven over time. And literally it was just a thing of like just a bar that Cindy would go to, and then every once in a while they would, have a busy night and she would go help out, help, give some tips, told the kitchen how to make their food edible, showed people like good cleaning tips, and then eventually, they just started comping all of her meals, and then she started working out of here. But it's always just been kind of like a running joke. No one knows who Ed Minion was. No one knows where the name came from. And there's a lot of weird shit in this. Like in the front, there's this holographic display that was like from a Disney World where, it's just like an entry thing. And Ed like paid a kid to like reprogram with him saying, welcome to Ed Minions. That's the only thing anyone's ever seen is this mysterious figure just like on the front, just like, you have to plug it in, but like whenever it does, it just says on repeat, welcome to Ed Minions, welcome to Ed Minions. There's like a door that no one has ever been able to open. It's literally referred to the door in the stone because like locksmiths in the area, strongmen, people have always just tried to, pry it open. There's like, the plans for the building don't say that anything's past this door. There's theories that the door is just kind of there as a fucking joke.
One of the first things I did when I first came to Ed Minions is sort of slip the child chucks beneath the thing, trying to open up the lock. Didn't happen.
Cindy's pretty much just tells everyone like, it's, there's no point in doing that, but, knock yourself out. It's a good way to keep the kids distracted. It's like, I'll give you a quarter, whoever can open the door kind of thing. And so you guys are all sitting there eating and everything seems relatively fine. And then you start to hear from the front, welcome to Ed Minions. And you, for a fact, Cindy, know that you had that thing unplugged. You have like time and time again told people like, do not, I'm tired of hearing this. Listen, I know it's too heavy to move out of here, but I'm not gonna do it. But like you start to hear that going on in the front.
Oh, gosh dang it. Excuse me, I'm just gonna go take care of that real quick. Yeah, she gets up and heads in there.
Even though it's like, a glass like hologram kind of thing, it's pretty simple. It's like you plug it in and out, it just is on or off. And you go to unplug it and it is not plugged in.
She stops, looks at the plug in her hand, looks at the hologram, and then she goes and stands in front of the hologram.
Cindy hears this.
Greetings, mighty travelers. It is I, the warrior. I knew that you four would be the ones to finally complete my trials.
Cindy hears that on repeat, and all of you hear that, and like you're all very surprised because you've never heard anything except for the fucking welcome to Ed Minion's voice, and it plays again.
Greetings, mighty travelers. It is I, the warrior. I knew that you four would be the ones to finally complete my trials.
Well, wait, does that sound... Is that what Ed Minion sounds like?
It does not sound like him, and the person you see in there does not look like the image that you all supposed was Ed Minion before.
What does he look like?
The most just generic, heroic, giant, barbarian, just person clad in like armor and weapons.
She turns and like calls out to like the entire bar. All right, who's doing magic now? You know you ain't allowed to be doing that in here.
I walk in and I'd like to use, if I can, Occult Confidential again, because I feel like this is a phenomenon.
You remember you started to go through the papers and you saw a lot of things about the trials of the warrior. And you started to see Jackie's notes about going on these trials and which ones they had completed. And, you know, different notes and then there's also like some, and you can like be looking through the paperwork too. And like there's notes from other people from hundreds of years ago, dating back like all over the place of just notes of trials of the warrior.
With my ability and with that in mind, which I tell everybody, I want to ask off of Investigate a Mystery, what can it do? As in, like, how much interaction or can we have with this, or how much danger does it represent? I don't really know.
You literally think the phrase, what can it do? And then, how many of you are in, like, this main room now? Have all of you come in there, or is it just the two of you?
I think I probably would have stumbled in.
I'd probably come in, but I'd be at the back of the room by the door.
None of you hear Rodney, like, say this out loud, but Rodney, as soon as, like, you're touching it, you think, what can it do? All of you hear from the other side of the room, the door unlocks.
Oh!
And it sounds like kind of a muffled voice from behind the door, and it sounds like it's like lower, but you can't really make out what it's saying.
That's scary.
Well, that's new. All right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty well known around here, so I'm gonna go over there and check and see if Ed's okay.
I'll move from my position by the back door and kind of follow Cindy, provide backup.
I got my camera out. I'm
You
recording.
go to open the door, and it opens, and it is so fucking bizarre to you that it opens. It has been, and it just always have seemed like it's flush. There's no way to like break in. But like you open it, some wooden steps leading down to a basement you did not know that Ed Minions had.
Ed, is that you?
After you scream out, Ed, is that you? You hear?
Now, the four of you must listen because time is short. I need you to take each of the items and stand in these places of power.
And you see a light coming from down the steps that seems similar to the light that the hologram in the main room gives off.
I put Eugene back in his terrarium, in his little glass tank. I don't want him to get hurt. And I start going down the stairs.
Yeah.
I'll follow Rodney.
Cindy's going down.
And I'll bring up the rear.
You all stand down there, and once again, you hear...
Now, the four of you must listen because time is short. I need you to take each of the items and stand in these places of power.
You are very concerned about this. You do look down, and there are 4 circles on the ground, all kind of positioned around this hologram, and it seems to be the same figure that was in the image upstairs.
What do the circles look like?
They look like they were like etched into the ground. So the floor down here is made of concrete, and it looks like these have been like physically etched into the ground.
I look around and I say, items. What do they mean, items?
As soon as you think, what do they mean, items, your sword, because you keep it in the little pocket dimension, your sword pops out of the pocket dimension that you have, and it falls into your hand. And you're holding it, and the handle of your sword starts to light up. Okay. You all see this, and Ezra does look a little confused because like it does seem like to you like Ezra has complete control over like sending the sword in and out. You've kind of never seen Ezra be surprised when it appears, and you also do see the handle of their sword light up.
I sort of hold it up in front of myself and look at it in mystified wonder.
Wait, this is quite strange. I
search myself for glowing objects to see if there's anything.
As soon as
happening.
you start to think, like, do I have any glowing objects? The leather strap that you made your child chucks out of starts to glow.
In something of a trance while this is happening, I think I'm sort of looking at the handle and almost without thinking, I start walking towards one of these circles of light.
Same thing for Lamar. I pick up the child checks and I'm looking at them and I know I made these. These aren't special. These aren't. Yeah, these. This is a very macabre, horrible weapon. How on earth could this be something more than an improvisational cutting device? And when I stop thinking that, like, I'm inside of a circle.
I don't think that y'all should be doing that quite yet. We haven't figured out what these items are.
As the two of them step inside the circle, you see the hologram light up again.
This final trial will be the hardest of them all. Everything leading up to this was just training to make sure you were ready. But I'd be damned if you all haven't proved yourselves time and time again.
What? See, now this is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't hand y'all missions.
Everybody knows this about Cindy. She is very meticulous about her note keeping and bookkeeping. She knows where every penny that comes in and out, she makes sure people get paid on time. And there's always one notebook that she's particular about. It's the first ledger she ever had. And as soon as you start to say, like, giving out missions, the notebook appears in your hand. It flips to the very last page, which is a blank piece of paper that Cindy has been keeping for a very secret and special reason.
Now, I'm beginning to suspect that this thing might actually know some things about us. Yeah, there's something I was going to talk to y'all about after all the... Oh dear, I'm in a circle.
Rodney, what are you doing?
I think for a second, and I look in my pants pocket where I keep a keychain, and I take it out. Is that glowing, or is it something else?
There's definitely a keychain glowing. You all know about this about Rodney. He's not the sharpest and sometimes has a hard time with people, but like definitely hates being swindled. And it's because when he was younger, he bought like what was supposed to be a prop gun from like his favorite like sci-fi movie set, and then, you know, saved up his allowance for forever for it, and then got what he's holding now is just a shitty just keychain of just a gun. It's not even like a sci-fi gun, but he's kept it because it's kind of like it helped form the code of like always looking out for the downtrodden that Rodney has. But Rodney, what you notice about that is the handle of the gun itself is glowing, but the rest of it seems not to be. And the same thing with the parchment page for Cindy's papers, emitting the same glow.
I hold the gun as if it was a real gun, even though it's a shitty keychain, and I walk up.
You step in this circle, and as all four of you are now in it, the circles light up around you, and you hear...
Now that you're all in position with your items, you are ready. And just remember, the fate of the worlds are in your hands now.
A light flashes in front of all of your eyes. Rodney, you get your vision back and you are just like trying to see what's around you, and then the three circles next to you have people that you do not recognize in it. And you hear...
Now that you've finished your tasks and made the warrior's sacrifice, you can rest. I know this wasn't easy. You're all true heroes. Now go. Live out the rest of your days knowing you've saved the world.
And once the beam dissipated around you, Rodney, in place of where your three companions were, you now see three strangers. First off, you see Charlie. Tell Rodney what you look like.
I guess before you see a guy that's sort of an average height, dark hair, a little bit weird. He's dressed in like old Victorian style clothes.
Okay.
Got a pair of glasses on, and he looks really scared. Maybe like he just got done crying, and sweaty.
I look scared and sweaty too. probably. But I don't think I look like I was crying.
Ron, say what you look like.
Before you see a older than middle-aged man, a little rounder in the gut area, wearing a barbecue apron, big cargo shorts that are maybe 3-4 sizes too big for his already large frame, socks, sandals, of course, and very, very confused, definitely looking for someone that used to be right in front of him.
Monty, explain what you look like.
Monty is wearing like a very long, drapey green poncho. It's very dark, got that olive drab tone. He's got some boots with about 1,000 straps on them, like the bad guy, the old guy in the original Home Alone, so the man with the shovel. Furthermore, he does kind of look like that. He is kind of got a Crypt Keeper vibe to him. He's sort of the dude who's in the corner of every tavern, has like the shadows just draping over him, and he is absolutely putrid.
The four of you now find yourselves in the basement of Ed Minion's, and there is one of those like thin glass displays in front of you, a video display thing, and the basement seems just like a kind of an old danky basement of a bar. Everyone but Rodney, this is does not look like where you came from.
Okay, the first thing I would say is, Joel, who is standing where Wynn was standing before?
Where Charlie is standing is where Wynn was, next to you.
So the very first thing I do is go right up to Charlie and say, excuse me there, sir, what the heck did you do with my beautiful boy Wynn?
I don't think I did anything. I had a thing, it glowed, I put it in the circle, and yeah. I don't even know where I am. Where am I? Where are we?
Oh, I'm just hot under the collar right here. I just need a sec. I'm going to take a lap. Just take a little lap. I'm going to just...
I kind of put my hands out. One of them still has the tiny gun in it. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, you guys are in Waukegan, Illinois.
Oh my God. Thank you, Dorothy. We're in Waukegan.
I'm not really sure what's going on, and I want to use Occult Confidential. I can ask a question off Investigate a Mystery.
Okay.
Well, can I just ask what happened here?
So you're trying to figure out what's happened here, and in all of your crypto research and time like that, you definitely think that this is some kind of like teleportation swap out and stuff like that, because you stayed with your glowing item and you saw that everybody else was also kind of holding something, but it's not the items that your companions had, and so it seems like it definitely has something to do with the items that you all were holding as you stepped into these circles.
Okay.
What is the room that we're like in? I'm looking for like a exit entrance, sort of just like general vibe, I guess, of the room.
So this is a basement of a bar. So the only entrance and exit is a doorway at the top of some stairs. This basement seems like no one's been in here for easily decades.
I glance around at the group for a second, and as they have their their initial questions of each other, I walk towards the door. And I open it up at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, it opens.
Awesome. What's there?
You see the inside of a bar called Ed Minion's. It is an old kind of rundown bar. There are some rooms to rent for extended stay upstairs for travelers and hunters. But the bar itself is a little run down, but it is a like hunter haven and hangout.
People are in there, whatnot, in the bars.
Right now, there doesn't seem to be anybody upstairs in the bar.
All right.
Okay, so we see you kind of go up the stairs, and I'm right after him, almost pushing him out of the way when we get on top. Just go, Win, you up here? Oh, where's my boy? But sorry, Joel. When you say like hunter, do you mean like camo wearing?
No, like Monster Hunter. Like it looks like it's straight out of the show Supernatural.
Perfect. Great.
And when I was saying there's nobody upstairs, it's nobody that Monty sees right away. There are some cooks and staff workers but they're like all in the back right now. But as far as like what Monty sees, is there's kind of like an open sort of dining area where you first walk in, even though it's not a typical restaurant per se. There's a doorway leading back into the main room, which is the bar itself. But Monty has walked up the stairs into kind of like the front room of Ed Minion's. What are Charlie and Rodney doing?
I'm about to follow them because I don't want them to just stomp around the bar. But is the warrior hologram thing, is it doing anything?
It's no
if I
longer
mess
doing
with it?
anything. Once it said what seems to be its last message, after the beams of light, the message is cut off and the machine isn't reacting at all.
Even if I like tap it with the gun,
Yeah,
I'm like
nothing's-
trying to get something. Nothing. Well, then I head upstairs to keep an eye on these people who just appeared. I'm worried. I don't know where my friends are. I kind of figured out what's going on. I think they're not dead or anything, but I am a little bit confused.
I think Charlie's pretty scared, so he keeps quiet and he's going to follow up the stairs, but just make as little noise as possible.
All right, so yeah, y'all make your way upstairs, and like I said, the first room that you enter in is kind of a dining area, not that formal at all. There's some couches, there's some tables. If you go into the back room, you just see a bar, and the way Ed Minions is set up, it's kind of a serve yourself, except for on the weekends, and then there doesn't seem to be any patrons there right now. It just seems to be the four of you.
Can we serve ourselves? Is that situation, or is it just like that empty? Like, is there any food right now? Can we eat?
I can order stuff if people are. I'm not gonna stop people if they're trying to get food or whatever. I don't care. I'm more like, where are my friends?
Yeah, I'm on my way. I go get food. I try to go get food from the kitchen.
There's some kitchen workers in the back that ask where Cindy is. They say that normally she's the one putting in the orders.
I say Cindy's on break.
And they go, okay, yeah. What can we get you? You look like you've been through some hell out there, Hunter.
I go chicken and pasta.
Oh, okay.
With basil.
Do you want like a basil chicken pasta, or you?
Yeah, that sounds nice. Not too heavy.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess we got that. Sure. So we'll have that out to you in a minute. Does anyone else need anything while we're whipping this up?
I make like no visible reaction and just turn and walk away.
I get some whiskey. I need a drink. I just get some whiskey on the rocks, just like bottom shelf. I'm like, oh God, what's happening?
What are Ron and Charlie doing as Rodney and Monty serve themselves?
I'm gonna just start saying, so whose dang place is this? Who knows where we are and what's happening? Because I'll tell you, oh geez, I'm just having a little bit of a, like, it's not a panic attack, but I'm breathing heavy. Whose place is this?
I feel you there, man.
I walk up to Ron and I'm like, it's not my place, but I work out of here. I think something happened and there was some kind of like teleportation magic.
You mean we were brought here?
Yeah, my friends were where y'all were standing, so I don't know where they are. I don't know where the people who were with you are, and I don't know how to find that out.
Do you know how we can get back?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to all of you, but there was some shit going down where I came from.
I was just gonna say we got ourselves in a bit of a kerfuffle before we had my three friends disappear, or I suppose more accurately, I disappeared. They might still be where I left them.
So where the stuff that was going on with y'all, was it near where you were teleported or somewhere else?
In the background, I stab my knife into the table and I'm like, where I come from is just like this, except there's nothing. There's nothing left. Nothing.
I just like stare at Monty for a second. I'm very taken aback.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, friend.
I think I get how you feel. I just want to take a couple steps back.
As you say that, the knife is like, I'm like gripping the knife and it's like going like further into the table and I'm like etching. I'm slowly just etching into it.
Ronnie puts his hands out like, please don't damage the table. Cindy would be very upset.
Sorry.
Let's all make sure we got some cool heads here, because I'll tell you what, when you get frustrated, that's when you start making bad decisions. So let's all take a deep breath, maybe a 5 count, everybody. Just a couple deep breaths. We're going to figure this out, and, oh dang.
So when you say there's nothing left, I was just going to ask him if you meant like post-apocalyptic or what was going on.
Yes. There was nothing. It was yes, what you would call post-apocalyptic, but to me it's apocalyptic. It happened. It's not. I'm not. I mean, yes, it already happened. But we were living in history, and then I take the knife back out and I start putting it back into the table again.
Ronnie puts his arms out again, like, please stop. Please stop.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I suppose that's funny. We always say post-apocalyptic, but, is the apocalypse just the one event, or is it the time frame after that one event? It's this
We
never
argued
really
about
thought
that
before.
constantly. That came up a lot. We never really got to the bottom of it.
It's classic. That's great.
Yeah.
What if you have one apocalypse and then everything after that is post-apocalyptic, but then you have another one? Is there like a mid-apocalyptic like section of time?
Well, I
there?
guess my argument was how many personal apocalypses were you having as well? You know, those could come before, after, and much later after the fact. Look, I thought there could be many apocalypses. That was my argument.
Kind of like the apocalypse of the mind. You know, we each make our own apocalypse. Oh, jeez, you guys are some swell dudes. Maybe I shout to the kitchen. Hey, can I get a burger? You guys do hamburgers here? Is this the Is this the future? Do you not have cows anymore? I forget where we are.
No, I say for me, is it 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say it's 2019. I don't know where you're from. We have cows. I had a burger earlier. You're good.
Was I in 2019, Joel?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, give me a hamburger. Little mayo on it. Thanks.
Yeah, you hear someone call from the back, like, all right, one hamburger coming up.
Mayo.
Okay, we want some mayo on it.
Thank you.
I think Charlie is sort of visibly frustrated and anxious, and he's got a cane in his hands, and he's just sort of like holding it real close to him, and then just like fiddling with a little sort of bauble on the top of it.
Ooh.
As y'all are kind of sitting there waiting for your food to come and fidgeting with your things, Rodney, you get a text message from one of your cryptid friends.
Mothman, Weedlord.
Okay, that's what I do.
420.
You get a text from your friend Mothman Weedlord 420 responding to your post of the pictures of the little drummer boys. You've traded stuff with him throughout the years on forums, and he actually tells you he's passing through Waukegan right now and would love to see like these pictures in person.
Okay, I know him pretty well, right?
Yeah.
He's not just someone. Yeah, I tell him to come by the bar.
Great, yes.
Although they're all just digital pictures.
Yeah, but he just wants to he wants to like get a scoop on the evidence, and you know it's convenient that he's in town to come check it out. And you know, Mothman Weedlord 420 says that he'll be by there probably about like 10 to 15 minutes.
My username on stuff is just like Lizard Guy. That's what he knows me as. I have a bearded dragon that I love, and I go to reptile conventions.
What's everyone else doing in the meantime while this is happening? About I'd say about 7 minutes later, Monty gets his basil chicken pasta, and about 2 or 3 minutes after that, Ron gets his burger.
Monty just eats the chicken out of the pasta. Doesn't eat anything out of the pasta.
Yeah, there's a cook just staring at you through the pickup window.
And as he's staring at me, eventually while I'm eating, I just look right at him. And we lock eyes, and it's painful.
I would say definitely like mid-bite. You know, now that I've gotten to know people a small amount bit, I'd go to kind of Charlie and just be like, you know, so what's your deal? That's a cool cane.
Yeah, it's not really mine, and this isn't really my outfit. It's something I was wearing from a thing that we did.
Then
it's a long story.
Then who are you?
I mean, my name's Charlie Clement. I'm an accountant. But I can't really tell you who I work for, but
you were teleported, and our friends were teleported away, and you can't tell us who you work for.
Yeah, we're not even like. Doesn't even seem like we're in your universe.
Well, I mean, I'm from Waukegan, so.
Right.
I'm, still in the same.
But I just
thing.
think you should trust us.
Hey now, friend. Trust is an earned thing, all right? We all just met each other. Like, we should allow each other personal secrets, personal space. That old Charlie, you'll get there. And, I'll tell you what, if you don't want to tell us, that's your decision.
I ask Charlie and Monty what year it is for them, if it's also 2019 for them.
Yeah, definitely 2019. I'm not from too far from here, so if we were teleported, it couldn't have been that far.
Okay. And what about Monty?
I'm from 2019. Not your 2019, obviously.
Obviously, yes. Not apocalyptic. We still have chickens.
Yeah, there's a community, but it's apocalyptic. Yes. Most of the buildings have been blown up.
Huh.
What's the address of the place that y'all were at?
Everybody's address is 6605 Harrison Drive.
Oh.
We all say that creepily in unison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Shit.
Oh. So yeah, I'm just kind of looking around. I think I want to make it seem like I understand. So I'm saying oh and looking around, even though I clearly do not understand.
Charlie's trying to change his therapy appointment from next week to this week.
Is it going through when he tries to make the appointment?
Charlie's trying to use his phone, and it's not connected to any kind of signal or anything.
Are you guys, any of you, getting any service? I'm not really connected to anything.
I am. My friend Mothman Weedlord 420 is gonna come over for a bit so I can show him some cryptid pictures, and I can ask him up if he knows anything about interdimensional travel. He might.
Oh yeah, I don't even think my kid gave me a cell phone. I never carried on me though. Can't use the darn thing. Okay. So are we talking about like different universes? And this is Waukegan, but not in my Waukegan?
Not in my Waukegan.
Oh no, wait, that makes me sound like a bigot, and I want to be open-minded.
I think we all have different Waukegans.
Right, that's what I was saying, and not a racist way. Oh, jeez.
And I assume we all want to get back to our respective Waukegans. Or Monty, do you want to go back to your respective?
Monty kind of freaks out when he realizes that it's a perfect match. I want to read a bad situation.
Do it.
That's a 4.
Monty has just kind of like a panic attack because he realizes that he just ate all the chicken and none of the noodles. And I think that and also realizing they're probably from a different universe and their universe is doomed also probably has a little bit to do with it, but they definitely do have a nice little panic attack because they feel bad about only eating the chicken.
There's no meat in my dimension, so.
Rodney notices this and thinks it's just about not eating the noodles, and I was like, are you gonna eat those? I can eat those. I'm still kind of hungry. I'll eat it.
And I just pace away, grabbing my head and kind of freaking out and having a what the fuck is going on right just a moment.
Okay, I don't need it then.
At this, Charlie sort of walks over to Monty and reaches into his backpack and hands him a stress ball. It's like, hey, I get these a lot. This might help if you want.
Ron is gonna immediately go right back downstairs. I'm going to try to go to that area that we warped and just kind of jump on it. I'm going to use just any sort of monkey power that I have to try to get it working again.
Yeah, so you're jumping on it. Ron, give me a weird roll.
That right there is a 7.
You start to jump on it and nothing seems to happen, but on your final jump, you just slam your feet down and the knife that you had put back since you were teleported in falls down again, and you see the blade of it is faintly glowing for a second, and then it dissipates.
Oh, well then let me investigate a mystery. And I'm going to pick up that knife and look at it. I'm going to roll a not a good number. I rolled a 6, so I can't do anything. So I look at my glowing knife.
You start to look at it, and then you're looking at it from every angle possible, and at one point you turn the blade and you catch the reflection of Essie behind you.
Hush! And I turn around.
She is not there.
She is not behind me.
No, but you did catch a glimpse of her, and so you're definitely pretty spooked.
Hey gang! There's some weird voodoo happening down here. I'm not happy with this.
I walk down.
Yeah,
What's up?
I think Charlie goes down too.
I'm about 10 yards behind him.
Okay, I'll just say I started jumping on the thing to try to get back to my world, and my knife started glowing, and I looked at my knife, and I saw my wife, and my wife, who I, by the way, have not seen in quite a long time, she was behind me, but then I looked around behind me, and she was not behind me. I don't, does your world have ghosts?
We do have ghosts.
I might know somebody that could help you with this, if it's ghosts you're looking for.
I saw my wife, who I haven't seen in many years, and then I turned around, she wasn't there. Only explanation, that's ghosts.
Yeah, let me try something. And I think Charlie puts down his cane, He takes his glasses off, and you see his eyes sort of turn dark gray for a second, and he closes his eyes. He's very still for a little bit, and then he sort of opens them, and a big goofy grin sort of creeps across his face, and he turns to Ron and says, "August Fletcher, at your service. I heard you were in need of a ghost?"
Do his eyes still look?
Yeah.
Do your eyes still look weird? I'm trying to be smooth about it. Rodney takes out a little camera, and I'm like recording.
I think August sees this and is sort of enjoying it, so he's sort of like making sure like he's posed real nice for the camera.
Okay, then I'm just straight up like, okay, this is definitely going on the forums. All right, there we go. Yeah, whenever anything weird happens, I'm gonna have a camera out unless someone yells at me.
August winks at the camera.
Cool.
Nice to meet you all. August Fletcher. You were looking for a ghost. I happen to be one. You've met my associate, Charlie. He's sort of my vehicle friend.
Sure.
The conduit.
You mentioned you saw your wife that you hadn't seen in quite a bit.
You're just gonna have to. Ron like kind of lifts up his big glasses and puts his fingers like on the bridge of his nose. And is like, you just gotta give me like 5 seconds here. August, was it?
August.
Like I've seen some stuff. I've seen some weird stuff. It just, you know.
I am some weird stuff.
I'm not trying to put you down. I just got a little bit, need a little time to adapt here. Just give me a... Okay, so I saw my wife, who disappeared from my world a long time ago. I saw her in the handle of my knife here. This is I'm a bit of a chef, amateur, but you know, I'm learning. And I turned around and she wasn't there, but the knife was glowing after I was jumping on the old doodad over here.
Do you mind? And I think he reaches out his hand. May I see it?
Oh, sure. And I do that thing where I kind of turn it around and hand him the handle to make sure that he doesn't hurt himself on the blade. And I was like, oh, just, be careful. I keep that sucker pretty dang sharp.
Well, you hurt yourself with the dull knife, so I thank you for that. If I can, through the knife, as a spooky, one of my moves is the sight, and I can see the invisible, especially spirits and magical influences. You may communicate and maybe even make deals with spirits that you see, and they might give you opportunities to spot clues when you investigate a mystery. So I'd like to investigate a mystery and see if I can use the sight to, using this knife, try to make contact with Ron's wife.
Hell yeah.
That'd be 9.
I guess that would just mean you probably get an extra choice is how I'm going to play that. So since you got a 9, you're going to hold 2 instead of 1.
I'd like to ask what is being concealed here and where did it go?
So you're trying to look through the knife and use that sight, and you can tell that this blade, it has immense power. What you're looking for is something that's kind of lost between worlds right now, because it kind of seems like Ron's wife, like the spirit of her, isn't just here, but it also seems like it's in 2 other places on top of here. So it seems like that's kind of why her spirit left momentarily, but it was because of this knife and the power that it holds that like Ron was able to like look into it and see her.
I'm going to sort of relay that to Ron and turn to Rodney and be like, you mentioned that you think that there's multiple dimensions in this space, correct?
Yes.
I think that your wife, Ron, might be in a couple of them. It seems like the key might be this knife.
Ron is very quiet and very much trying to hold back some big old teardrops.
Aww.
You're telling me that that my Essie might be around here somewhere.
Here, there, it's hard to say. She's definitely somewhere.
As y'all are having this conversation, Rodney, you hear the front door open to the front of Edmonion's upstairs. Monty, are you just kind of at the top of the steps, or are you down there with them?
Yeah, I'm at the top of the steps, and I'm going to try to summon a beast, like beast inside of the room with them.
Well, I'm just starting to go up the stairs to see if my friend's here.
That's a 10.
So where are you trying to summon that? Like down there with...
I'm trying to block them.
Okay, yeah, so Monty is at the top of the stairs, and you see him just kind of like reach his hand out as Rodney hears the front door open, and there's just like this, it looks like just a panther that is just made of just like some void, just appears on the stairs, and it's facing down at the three of you with its with its back arched up.
Can we tell that Monty summoned it?
Yeah.
So I still have the camera out. I reach into, somehow I just kind of reach and I pull out a giant magnum, like a huge handgun, and I want to use Occult Confidential again.
Okay.
Wow, I thought I was spooky.
I'm gonna ask, what sort of creature is it?
You have never come across anything exactly like this because like it seems to have a like physical form, but it is just like, you really can't, you've never seen like anything like the kind of energy that is comprising this creature in front of you, and it just kind of seems evil incarnate.
I say, what the hell? And I look at Monty.
And I don't hesitate. I order it to attack.
All right, so,
Oh, shit.
so act under pressure, Rodney.
Okay.
Roll plus cool.
Oh, Rodney's not very cool.
Wait, and this is happening upstairs?
So this is happening at the top. So you all are in the basement at the bottom of the steps. Monty was at the top of the steps in the basement. So this is like, you're right next to this.
Great silhouette situation going on.
Yeah.
I got a 6 + 0.
Rodney gets tackled by this void panther as it starts trying to attack Rodney, and Rodney's not going to take any harm right now, but Rodney's gun did get knocked out of his hand as he's wrestling it. But you still have the camera.
I still have the camera.
Yes, you do still have the camera. What are Ron and August doing?
I think August is trying to figure out if this panther is some sort of phenomenon that's close to what he is. Is there any way that he can determine whether or not this is something close to his own?
It doesn't seem like this is a
Makeup?
ghost at all. Like, you don't have to do any rolls. Like, you're not, it doesn't seem like this is the same kind of like spirit that you are.
I think before this gets too out of hand, just to sort of de-escalate the situation, I'd like to use magic if I could. And what I want to use is Jinx. And I'd like to try to interfere with a monster minion or what a bystander is trying to do. I want to just hold the panther, basically, in place. If I can just basically paralyze it.
So roll to use magic.
That'll be an 11.
Rodney is trying to like hold the panther off, and August just like grasps the void panther like in midair, and it's just immobilized. Ron, what are you doing?
With the Jinx, I also get a plus. I get to hold 2.
Okay.
So can I choose another one?
Yeah.
I'd like to help a hunter and give them +1 forward. So I'd like to give that to Rodney if I could.
Okay, cool. So Rodney, you'll
Thank
get a
you.
+1 on your next move. Ron, what are you doing?
I will use one of my mundane powers, which is what could go wrong. I will charge into immediate danger without hedging my bets. I have 2 actions because of that, and so I guess the first thing I do is I will inflict 1 harm on this void panther as it's being held. I guess I still have my big old knife in my hand, yeah? And so, I swipe at the panther's head with my knife, and then I will reduce... I can reduce someone's harm, but no one's being harmed by the panther currently.
No.
It didn't hurt me.
Okay, well then, just for the future, I will take a +2 forward on an act under pressure roll.
Great. You went up and dig the knife into the void panther, and as soon as you do, the blade lights up again, and the void panther just disintegrates in front of you. Monty, what do you do as you see this? You're at the top of the steps, and right on the inside is Mothman.
I'm gonna create a wall of fire. A wall of lightning in front of them.
All right.
Fuck.
7.
All right, so you're going to get a little shock back, Monty. You're going to take 2 harm, but there is now a wall of just like lightning bolts just streaking up and down, blocking the stairs as Monty just ducks back into the main room.
I run back to
Have
the
I
kitchen.
missed
Duck
something
into the
here? What
kitchen.
is it that we're fighting for?
I have no idea. I think there's something up with Monty. I just wanted to go see my cryptid friend.
It was the chicken, wasn't it?
He didn't like the chicken or the table. I take out my little keychain gun. Can I try to, having seen the knife work, can I try to fire that at the electricity wall? I'm not necessarily trying to hurt Monty. I don't know what's happening.
You like click at it and nothing comes from the gun itself, but as you're trying to like point at the wall, some of the electricity starts to get sucked up by the handle of the gun itself.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. I'm just going to leave my magnum on the floor right now. I don't think it's really useful right this second.
And what are you doing, August?
I think at this point he's seen the knife have some sort of effect. He's seen this little pistol have an effect on the lightning. I'm gonna bring my bauble, I guess. I keep a metal sphere basically on a pendant around my neck, and I'm just gonna kind of hold it over where the lightning is and see if I can do the same thing as the pistol and suck up more of it.
You saw Rodney like holding out like the handle of the pistol. So August has a necklace with a little with what looks like to be like a metal ball at the end, and he is swinging it at the wall of lightning. And every time like he's swinging it, it seems like the bauble itself is pulling itself closer to the handle of Rodney's toy gun.
Rodney, it looks like our tokens here are reacting to each other.
I think so. I'm hoping I can shoot lightning after this, but I'm not sure. Until like an hour ago or whatever, this was just a toy. And I don't usually have a lot of magic abilities, so I really don't know what's happening, but I'm definitely like recording, like trying to move my shitty little camera around to get the best angle on whatever's happening.
Well, if they're reacting, why don't we try bringing them together and see what happens?
Okay.
I'd like to just sort of bring my sphere over to the gun.
So you give me a weird roll, August.
That's not gonna do it. Snake eyes.
Oh,
so you
that was not meant
put
to be.
the two together, and as soon as you do that, all of the lightning that was in that wall just like shocks August for 2 harm as you drop your necklace and the toy gun. And once they fall to the ground, the barrel and everything but the handle of the toy guns like just shatter, and the necklace attached to the ball shatter, but it does look like they're now attached to where the base of it looks like it's actually the pommel of a handle, but it's now attached to Rodney's handle.
So it's one thing.
And the wall of lightning is now down.
Well, that could have gone better.
Can I try to manipulate Monty? Because I assume from my vantage point, like I can kind of see that Monty is the one that created the lightning,
as soon as Monty put up the wall of lightning, he ducked back in to go.
I like dove off into the kitchen.
Yeah, so he dove back in.
It shocked me, and I was like,
so the wall
wounded
is
and ran
now
away.
gone, so you could pursue Monty, but he is now upstairs.
I was going to hand August the thing that we have, our formed little stick pommel thing now, because I think he'll be better at using it. I'm just going to decide to trust him, and I'm going to try to run upstairs.
I think it's worth noting that after this lightning sort of shock, August looks in pretty rough shape. I have marked unstable.
All right. Rodney runs his way upstairs. What was Ron doing before Rodney makes his way up there?
Okay, well then my first order of business is August, and I suppose this isn't something I mentioned when I was describing my character, but I do have a rather large fanny pack. In that fanny pack is all sorts of doodads, including gauze, band-aids, Neosporin. So, I go down to August and I go, listen, man, I know you're kind of a ghost or a possessed man or something, but do you need some, like, I got a Band-Aid here, I got some Tylenol or aspirin, depending on if one makes your stomach upset. Do you have a stomach because you're a ghost man?
Charlie has one, and I'm using it.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I can give you a help out here, oh, well, you've already suffered harm. I don't know, is there, I'm trying to look at all of my actions here, is there a way I can help Charlie's body to make him not to make him stable?
Just I mean, like, because do you have the mundane move med kit?
I do not have the mundane move.
Here. How about you just do this? You give me a sharp check, and we'll see with your doodads what you can.
I got an 8 for a sharp.
Okay, so you're able to bandage August up enough to where he can heal 1 harm.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we heal. We heal Charlie's body so August can get back in the fight. And I say, well, listen. If this here chicken-eating man is gonna attack us, I think we got to stop him.
I'm up in the kitchen still, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm tackling. I start trying to. I'm gonna use summon again, but I'm gonna try to get a little bit creative and tell me to stop if it's not possible. But I want to grab each of the chefs and start turning them into like void entities.
Perfect.
That's a 12. I just want to be clear. The way I'm doing this is I'm holding their heads and I'm screaming into their mouth.
Yeah, you come upstairs and you find Mothman, Weed Lord, and the remaining members of the kitchen staff and serving staff. You see Mothman, Weedman's actually the last one to be turned, but he's turned right in front of you as
my only friend!
Monty is screaming this black energy into his mouth, and you now see they have all transformed into little drummer boys.
Oh, I'm fucking upset. That's not I was gonna show him all the cool footage I got.
And as soon as Rodney starts to think I'm fucking upset, literally guns start to just rain from the sky all around you. And you are still inside. Everywhere around all of you, you just start to see just every size and type of armament just popping up at an alarming rate.
Can I grab a rocket launcher? I think everyone else needs to move too, but I'm pissed off.
Yeah, no, there's any kind of armament you could think of. There, it just seems.
It sounds like a cheat code got turned on. Is that what? Okay, all right.
Does it seem at all like I could turn my friend back, or from what I know about Little Drummer Boys, is that not?
From what you could kind of put together, especially with how Lamar did kill his little brother, you do not think that this process is reversible.
I've set them to aggro. They are.
Yeah.
They're mad hostile.
I scream and pick up a rocket launcher and try to launch it at the kitchen.
All right, roll tough to kick some ass.
Ooh, that's an 8.
You see the door, and it's fun too how you're seeing it, because it's that kitchen door where it can swing both ways, so it's just swinging open and close. And so you see Monty turned the last one of them into a little drummer boy, and then it swings back and you see the little drummer boy starting to walk towards you, and on the final swing you just shoot a fucking rocket into the kitchen. So Rodney, you're gonna take 1 harm because you're blown back from the close thing, and then Monty, you're gonna take 2 harm. But you now have not all of Ed Minions is destroyed, but there's definitely a giant hole in the back of it where the kitchen was. August and Ron, as you two are downstairs patching up August, you do hear a explosion of a rocket-propelled grenade above you. What do you all do?
And I screamed beforehand. I was just fuck!
Also, yeah, and there's also guns dropping everywhere around you all too.
All right, this is this is
concerning.
A weird situation. I think it got a little weirder as I'm getting pelted in the head with those look like 9mm. I'm gonna run upstairs and see if I can stab someone.
Sounds like a plan to me. And I think he takes his cane and pulls it apart, and it's a sword.
Yes.
Let's go stab him.
Man. And then we do a predator handshake. but neither of us are very muscular, so it looks a little ridiculous.
Yeah. You're not a ghost. It's a ghost in a body, right? I was just imagining.
Yes, I am in a body.
Okay, I was imagining the arms going straight through each other.
Yeah. So you run up. The two of you run upstairs. You see Rodney's getting himself off his feet, but with a rocket launcher by his side, and there are some. What you now see, Rodney has come in contact with these creatures referred to as little drummer boys, where these are larger than the normal ones you see, because normally little drummer boys are children turned to these monsters, but since these were adults, they are larger and seem beefier and heavier in stature, but they just...
Large drummer boys.
Yeah, they just have very terrifying, wet, leathery skin, and shriveled and rippled, and they have knives for hands. It seems like their hands have just formed into a sharpened human flesh. They're just sauntering right towards Rodney as Ron and August come up the stairs.
Oh wow! I hate it.
Jeez. Here, ghost friend. Okay. Well.
The stabbing plan sounded good to me. Should we give that a try?
Let's do that. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to help out my new ghost friend August here by distracting the drummer boys.
Okay.
to hopefully give him like an in for stabbing. And I have a little, I have a mundane special power called the Power of Heart. And when fighting a monster, if I help someone out, I don't have to roll plus cool. I automatically help as though I rolled a 10.
All right, so perfect. So August, you're gonna get a +1 at no like minus or anything to Ron, because that's
So I'm just gonna kind of like flank the little drummer boys and go, you guys look ridiculous. Look at me over here. You guys are dumb, and I don't like you at all.
Masterfully done. I think August immediately goes into
a very sensitive about their intelligence.
Yeah, I've imbued them with a lot of vanity.
I yell, watch out for their hands. They're really sharp.
I think August immediately goes into a fencer's pose, and he's going to kick some ass on the nearest large drummer man.
Yeah, so roll tough, and you get an additional +1 because of Ron.
That's going to be an 8.
So you run forward and stab one of them, and as soon as you run the sword just through their belly, you get a good hit on them, and then they just kind of like slice back at you, and like so you get a slice on the arm for 1 harm. And this thing, it does look like it was a sizable hit, but it seems like it's very sturdy. And as you run your blade through it, the handle and pommel stone start to glow, and so does Ron's blade.
How close are my new friends to the little drummer boys?
They're standing right next to it, but keep in mind there's not just the rocket launcher in arm's reach of you.
I'll get like a normal gun. I'll look for like a Magnum similar to mine, or like a really powerful handgun.
Hey, Rodney, if you could not shoot another grenade into the kitchen while we're in here, we would really, you do what you do. I'm just trying to help and give you some advice here.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Don't worry, I'm very mad, but I'm not trying to kill y'all too.
I don't know, I think the grenades have style.
So I just rolled to kick some ass. 7.
So the one that August had just run a sword through, you just blow its head off with a magnum that you pick up off the ground. And Monty, what are you doing?
Monty walks out of the kitchen and like storms out. Half his body is just like burnt to a crisp from the rocket propelled grenade. And he walks up and he looks over at August, and his eyes go like a black dark void, and he shoots a lightning blast at you.
All right, so it rolled to use magic.
All right.
All right, and
that's a 12.
Okay, so then August, you give me an act under pressure roll to see if you can avoid any of this hit. It is going to be a big ass hit, so.
That's an 8.
What would that damage supposed to be?
2 harm, and then +1 harm messy.
So you're just gonna you will only take 2 harm since you can kind of get out of the way a little bit, but August does take a lightning blast, just sending him flying back.
August is dying.
Can we rewind a little bit as I'm reading my notes, and I can try to protect someone?
Yeah, so you can do that. You can try to protect real quick.
I assume he's got like little prestidigitation lightning fingers. As I see him do that, kind of aiming towards my ghost friend August, I go to tackle dive him out of the way, and so if someone is about to suffer harm and I can somehow prevent it, then I can try to protect them. So that is an 8, which means I protect them okay, but I will suffer some or all of the harm they were going to get.
You see Monty holding up his hand is about to like shoot lightning, and everything gets really slow for Ron, and then for a split second you see Essie again, and she just points to August and says, "Save him." And you just run forward and dive tackle Monty right as he lets this blast out, and so Ron, you're gonna take 3 harm.
I can take it.
And August, you no longer take that 2 harm.
I'm not dying again.
Yeah, and so Monty and Ron are now tussling on the ground. August, you notice that Ron's blade fell out of his pocket, and it's glowing, and it seems in the tussle Monty dropped something that looks like to be the crossguard of a sword handle on the ground, and it's also glowing.
Ooh. Am I close enough to pick them both up?
Give me an act under pressure to see if you can grab both of them. You're close enough to definitely grab one, but we'll see if you're fast enough to be able to grab both, because there's still some regular drummer men around.
Drummer men.
11.
Yeah.
So August like sees these and just like does this cool like dive roll on the ground and picks up the blade and like barely misses like a drummer boy, like knife hand, like in the ground right next to him. And then he sees like the crossguard on the other side. He reaches for it and grabs the crossguard once again, narrowly missing the blade of a little drummer boy. And you now have these 4 items that are glowing in your possession.
Do one of the drummer boys do a drum roll while I do that? And then as I finish my little flip, it goes.
Yeah,
jazz hands.
Yeah, that's Mothman Weedlord 420. Even as a drummer boy, he loves a good show.
Yeah, his humanity showing through.
He always loved a good show.
What I appreciate is henchman villain who understand the dramatic. That's what I like. They know that it's all about the show.
What are you doing now, August?
If they're all sort of reacting to each other, I want to try to put them all together if I can.
So give me another weird check.
Nat 12.
So August
plus 2, 14.
August just like intuitively like just looks at all and just kind of realizes, oh, I know what the fuck this is. He takes the chef blade that Ron had, snaps the handle off, pulls up the handle that he had gotten from Rodney, throws the crossguard on, and attaches the blade to the top of the handle and crossguard. And what's interesting is at first you see like the blade extend out, and it kind of makes like a He-Man extension sword, but then it flickers, and the sword itself like vanishes, and then reappears as a giant morning star.
Ooh.
But it is glowing and looks very cool. Rodney, what are you doing?
Trying to shoot Monty.
All right. So
I'm mad. I realize that there's some humanity left in my friends, so I'm trying to stave off killing the drummer boy.
Try to shoot Monty. You're gonna take a -1 because Ron is in the fray with Monty. Like they're still like wrestling around.
If I try to use a melee attack on him, would I not take the -1?
No. If you don't, if you're using a melee attack, you won't take the -1. But
is there anything? Is there like a sledgehammer or like a crowbar or like a golf club? Did any of that fall?
There is. It seemed like all the things that fell were just like a gun-style armaments. But there is a baseball bat that's kept at the front door of Ed Minion's at all times that you can just kind of grab.
Would it do more damage if I used the baseball bat or if I tried to pistol whip him?
I think the baseball bat probably would do more damage.
Rodney stalks over. He's really pissed off, and he grabs the baseball bat off the door. Then he comes, and he's just trying to... he's going in for the kill. He's really angry.
Kick some ass.
Ooh, 8.
All right, so you're going to take 2 harm, and he's just going to get a kick in on you, Rodney, and you're going to take 1 harm as a swap. But you do hit him off of Ron, and so now, like, Ron, what are you doing now that Monty's been thrown off of you?
Okay, I guess, my priority, I'm not looking to... I'm definitely not looking to, like, murder a human. Monty is kind of like kicked off of me, and there's still one void drummer man.
Yeah.
But I no longer have my super... And first of all, it was great at chopping vegetables. Like, I really had a feel for it. And, like, I know it's like a super power weapon, but I just... Do you know how long it takes to get used to your knife? It's a whole thing. I'll deal with it another time. I guess I am going to try to see if I can find any sort of... Oh, we're in a kitchen, right?
Yeah, you're like right. You're right on like the bar side, but you're like right next to your kitchen, so you can get in there easily.
Sure. So I'm going to just try to find, like a pan, a rolling pin, or something I can use to smack this void
There's a nice cast iron skillet.
Fuck yes. And so I suppose that's a kick some ass. An 8.
Okay, yeah, so you're gonna hit one of the void creatures with a pan and get a slice across your chest for 1 harm.
Oh, great.
As you all are fighting, Rodney, you start to hear like some scrapes at the door, and you like look through the window, and it seems like there's some more little drummer boys outside.
Shit. I'm gonna keep attacking Monty.
All right.
Because I know that they're scary. They can stab you, but they're not that
Attack Monty.
scary.
Do I do something?
Oh yeah, so yeah, you can do something, yeah.
You can try to stop me. I'm just hitting you in the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah, Monty, you can go.
I'm sorry, Monty, but you're the bad guy. You don't get a turn.
I chase down Ron.
Okay.
I see that he's swinging at one of the animals. I grab him by the throat, and I use like my blast effect, but I'm using it to the same effect earlier where I was screaming into his mouth. And I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to scream into his mouth to blast him for 2 damage.
Okay.
8.
All right, so Ron, you're getting like this magic shoved down your throat literally as you take 2 harm.
Oh, we're not feeling so great over here.
Can I gain that?
Yeah, so you gain that back because you can tell it's necromantic damage. And Rodney, it seems terrifying, like almost all hope is lost. Monty is standing with his back to the door of the kitchen, holding Ron now on his knees and like choking him. The only thing in the kitchen that's like still up is the kitchen door that's just swinging comically, and you see it swing and there's nothing in there, and you see it swing once again, and Cindy appears behind Monty, walks up, snaps Monty's neck, and he just falls cold dead on the ground, looks at you and goes,
All right, children. I would like to get one last picture for the fridge.
and as she says that, a light forms around August and Ron, similar to when they were all teleported here, and once it dissipates, you now see Ezra, but you see the dead body of Lamar.
Seasons was created and edited by Joel Ruiz, narration by Jack David, opening tracks provided by People Need Goals. Featuring voices of Adam LaGrave, Rebecca Parks, David Rodriguez, and Beck Shepard. Seasons cast list is as follows: Danielle Bryn, Cole Burkhart, Kyle Classett, Brian Emond, Alex Flanigan, Brandon Leon Gambetta, Taylor Johnson, Shelby Lee, Xalavier Nelson Jr., Jack Packard, Renee Rhodes, Eve Smith, Shannon Strucci, Patrick Tracy, Dallas Wheatley, and Aaron Willems. For links to the cast's Twitter, People Need Goals music, and more info on the show, please visit seasonsminiseries.com. Also, please consider supporting Critical Bits on Patreon so they can continue to bring you more actual play events. You've been listening to a Do You Validate production.